Hell yeah.
So I get to work in this job, and I'll be handling exports and imports for Honda and a couple other companies. And I may be contacting businesses on behalf of Honda or these other companies, Honda's others. I'll be on there in other words, I'll be contacting businesses and shit, trying to link them up with purchasing things through the importers, exporters, or working with the import and export businesses for different situations.
All right. Well, that's good.
You're good to go now, so hell.
What?
Just I couldn't can't turn my computer on, I gotta have a phone.
Yeah.
I gotta use my phone.
Where you at?
Next door to my house. I had to come over here and wall mount our TV. Well, they wall mounted their TV, and then it wasn't working. And instead of needing an update, because they updated it supposedly, it wasn't working still. And then whenever I went and put it on this morning, it told them that they've been locked out, and that they need to contact the manufacturer for a code so that they could access the system settings to add Wi-Fi on it. And come find out it's because they bought one of them TVs that has ads on it.
Uh-huh.
And because they didn't activate it and pull it out of the box, it took 24 hours before it put it out ads. 24 hours after purchasing it to, in other words, connect it to Wi-Fi or it locks the TV up. And she took it back to Walmart and she got another one and she wanted me to come over there and make sure that the Wi-Fi was connected and shit like that. So I just got done with that. Had to go next door to get her at my house. Just talking to Tasha because the kid's birthday was yesterday and fucking Brentley had the flu. So he didn't get to go to it. Then I caught the flu, then Tasha caught it. Fucking night.
Yeah, Jody's sick this morning.
I took Brentley to the hospital because he started getting, like, he was running a 203. The highest he got when he came to the hospital was 203.8 fever. And it had been like that for a whole night. So we took him to the hospital. There was people on the floor, sitting on the floor, people in the chairs and all over the floor because they had so many people there the hospital couldn't keep up. So they advised us to go to take him to the clinic. And we took him to the clinic, and sure enough, he had the flu and strep throat. But he's better now. He went to school today. But shit, I'll let you start this show. I'm gonna get off here. I got work down and do a bunch of stuff, and then I gotta go make sure I fit that floor.
All right, call me later on.
No worries.
All right, later. All right, fellas, here we are.
Months we're here right now. What would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America or
Where he came from.
South
Not America.
Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
Oh, gotta go.
Elon Musk were here right now. What would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
Pfizer did not participate. In Operation Warp Speed, Pfizer declined both the funding and the oversight. That's right. Hello?
Hi, I was gonna let you know that you may have to sign out the YouTube account on YouTube account.
Knick-knack.
Sign in, switch the account to your regular account.
Save it.
All right, hold on. They said they can't hear me.
Yeah, you might have to go back there and fix the settings. I fixed the camera for you, so you'll have in the background a camera. But besides that,
It's on next go.
yeah, you might have to go out on that ring-select it, like click something else in properties. But yeah, I was just gonna tell you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Barring any changes, I believe this is
Joy Reid's that black lady that on she's on one of them talk shows, a black-headed lady. She got fired.
giving you, whether it's this case or not, which is still active. I believe what he described
Nicknack's over
here
there
is
on,
going to give you a
YouTube.
lot of the off-ramp that we've been questioning. for how Trump is going to explain this to the public when we get to that point. So take a quick look, listen closely to what Attorney General Chris Kobach in the state of Kansas had to say on June 17th of 2024 when he announced his lawsuit against Pfizer.
Funny that all these bitches getting fired.
Listen.
A lot of them, Dan Bongino just got picked up by Cash Patel to be his underboss.
Listen closely.
Pfizer marketed its vaccine as safe for pregnant women. However, in February of 2021, Pfizer possessed reports for 458 pregnant women who received Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine during pregnancy. More than half of the pregnant women reported an adverse event, and more than 10% reported a miscarriage, many within days of the vaccination. Pfizer also possessed information from its own October 2020 study on pregnancy in rats, indicating that its COVID-19 vaccine was likely linked to infertility, loss of litters, and stillborn offspring. Number 2, safety relating to heart conditions like myocarditis. Pfizer consistently denied any evidence of a connection or safety signal between its COVID-19 vaccine and myocarditis or pericarditis. Indeed, on January 18th, 2023, when asked whether its vaccine caused strokes or myocarditis, Pfizer chairman and CEO Alan Berla stated, quote, "We've not seen a single signal, although we have distributed billions of doses," end quote. A signal that he was referring to as a safety signal, which refers to a negative consequence. However, as Pfizer knew, the United States government, the United States military, foreign governments, and others had found that Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine caused myocarditis and pericarditis. Number 3, effectiveness regarding variants. Pfizer also claimed that its COVID-19 vaccine protected against COVID-19 variants, even though data available at the time showed Pfizer's vaccine was effective less than half the time against variants. Finally, transmission. Pfizer urged Americans to get vaccinated in order to protect their loved ones, clearly indicating a claim that Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccination stopped transmission of COVID-19. Pfizer later admitted that it had never even studied transmission of it after its recipients received the vaccine and whether they could say it stopped transmission. After making these misleading statements, Pfizer also engaged in some censorship attempts. Emails revealed that Pfizer officials coordinated with social media platforms to censor any speech critical of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine safety and effectiveness. It should also be noted that Pfizer elected not to join the federal government's vaccine development program known as Operation Warp Speed and declined that development funding. When asked about that, Pfizer's CEO, Albert Bourla, said Pfizer did not participate in the program in order to, quote, liberate, end quote, Pfizer's scientists and to avoid government oversight of its vaccine development. He also said, quote, "They want reports. I don't want to have any of that," end quote. Referring to they, when he said they, he was referring to the federal government. Pfizer's misleading statements contributed to success in marketing its vaccine in Kansas. By February of 2024, Pfizer had delivered over 3.3 million doses of its vaccine in the state of Kansas. This accounted for over 60% of all vaccine doses given in the state of Kansas. This suit is being filed today, and as I mentioned before, it is part of a multi-state effort in which more suits may follow depending on Pfizer's reaction.
Very interesting.
Dasting
indeed. Marketed.
The key things there. Obviously, he's got them dead to right on the lies in their clinical trials, which we all know. But the key thing there, the major takeaway that I see, is that they openly admitted they did not take funding or participate in Operation Warp Speed, and they did not report back to Trump's government.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, and also pay attention to the end, this is not just Kansas, this is a multi-state lawsuit. And one other little interesting nugget, and then Patriot, I want to get your reaction. There is this little Q drop right here. 11/22. trust Sessions, trust Ray, trust Kansas, trust Horowitz, and trust Huber. Now it's interesting because on the right side, there's another one that talks about trust Kansas, where people, it points to Pompeo. This is an anon talking about Pompeo. But if you notice this drop, it's using names. It doesn't say trust Pompeo. It says trust Kansas. Well, who brought that lawsuit? The state of Kansas. Very fascinating.
Very fascinating. Yeah, that was exactly what jumped
China.
out at me. At first, I was listening and I was like, okay, yeah. So they marketed it as safe.
where?
They obviously lied. They obviously hid the connections to myocarditis and to miscarriages and all types
let me
of
see if I can
problems.
share
It's
that.
like,
How many black people have been lynched in U.S. history? Estimated 3,400 to 6,500. How many black people were murdered by other black people in 2023? Answer 7,400. Yeah.
Since to hire
Ron DeSantis is talking about ending property taxes. I can get down with that. No more property taxes. Why you got to pay taxes on something you already paid for? That don't make no damn sense. Barack Obama sucks dick. He does suck dick.
Have this opportunity to gather together, Father, for such a time as this, Lord. Father, we thank you for President Trump. Lord God, we thank you for the First Lady. We thank you for Vice President Vance and the Second Lady. Lord God, I pray that you will be an iron dome of protection around them and their families. Lord God, we thank you that you are a sovereign Father and you're a good, good Father. And tonight, Father God, I thank you for the governors that have gathered here. Lord, thank you for their service. I pray you will give them wisdom and clarity and understanding. God, I pray you will be with them and their families. Lord God, I pray and thank you for my colleagues in the cabinet, Father God, that are here tonight. Lord God, we know that you have ordained this time before the foundations of the world. And Lord God, we thank you. Father, we thank you tonight that as we gather and as we fellowship, Lord Jesus, that you would be glorified. And Father, as President Trump, Father, as the leader of this nation, Lord God, as he every day, Father God, leads and serves, Father, I pray that you would give him great favor. God, I pray that you would open his eyes to see like he's never seen before, that you would open up his ears to hear your voice. And Father God, you would give him divine insight and divine, Father God, just wisdom as he leads and serves this country. And Lord, tonight we pray that the joy of the Lord would be our strength, because we are happy tonight, because you saw fit to bring us together. We love you. We honor you. And Lord, thank you for this food that we shall receive. I pray you will bless it to nourish our bodies, that we may build your kingdom. And bless the hands that prepared it and those that will serve it. We give you the glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Bless you.
You know, Reverend, when you left me and didn't give a damn what happened to me, I got picked up for vagrancy. And if it wasn't for Joe Courtney's lawyer, I'd still be rotting in that stinking jail.
She's a whore.
Well, you old Bible thumper, what are you here for? Looking for justice, mercy, love? You know, Reverend, when you left me and didn't give a damn what happened to me, I got picked up for vagrancy. And if it wasn't for Joe Courtney's lawyer, I'd still be rotting in that stinking jail. Well, you old Bible thumper, what are you here for? Looking for justice, mercy, love? You know, Reverend, when you left me and didn't give a damn what happened to me, I got picked up for vagrancy. And if it wasn't for Joe Courtney's lawyer, I'd still be rotting in that stinking jail.
She was a traitor to the country.
And there's a test. If there's a lot of feedback, even when these are in her ears, I can do a little change the programming. 'Cause she's just growing so fast. All right, I'm gonna click on closed, okay?
Billy. Hi, Bill.
Billy.
sweet right there.
Billy,
China.
look over here now.
Billy, what are you doing? Hi. Hi. What are you doing?
I think you can tell she can hear.
What are you doing?
Hi. Hi, how are you? Yay!
Yay. Palestine book published 1722. Does it say Israel or Palestine? Palestine deserts. That's what I'm talking about.
Biden once said that white
Greatest threat to
supremacy
the American people's safety is specifically the threat of radical Islamist terrorism.
was the single greatest terrorist threat
She works for the
to
Jews.
our homeland. What do you feel is the greatest threat to the American people's safety?
We look at the last 4 years of open borders.
Jews.
Mother and daughter sharing the same husband and baby daddy. You know, it's such a beautiful thing.
It's not often that a mom and daughter are pregnant at the same time, let alone by the same man, but we wouldn't want things to be any other way. So when I found out that my mom was pregnant and by the same man as me, you know, honestly, it was unexpected because, again, we weren't trying at all for a baby.
That's just
but
sick. Both of y'all could be looking for child support.
Just like, I don't.
Were plastered on every phone screen and television after the October.
A Hannibal directive against Israeli citizens on 10/7. That was Netanyahu. Regulated using slides at Atlanta International Airport on Monday after haze and smoke was spotted inside the plane. Somebody smoking in the bathroom. That ain't good.
Doge could benefit from more streamlined communications. There was that email telling.
That's Macron. Where's his man husband at? His man wife. Where's his man wife at?
Give 5 things that they've done last week. Agency has then told people to ignore it.
You're talking about the last email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great. Because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this
See,
last
a lot of
group.
these people that was
So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government.
Danielle.
Are we paying other people that aren't working? And you know, where's all this? Where's the money going?
You mean,
We have found
doing things.
hundreds of billions of dollars of
I'm
fraud
always doing something
so
there,
far.
Danielle.
And we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there. because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people. Please tell us what you did last week. If people don't respond, it's very possible that there is no such person or they're not working.
Trump didn't even come out. Trump didn't even come out and welcome him in the house, White House.
Who's Harper? Oh, that's Charlie? Oh, Charlie, come on. Harper, come here. Who's Harper? Oh, that's Charlie? Oh, Charlie, come on. Harper, come here.
I've ever seen anybody, ever. Did you ever doubt? Or did you just decide to go on and you just did it?
I mean, my philosophy is you play to win. You don't play it by half measure.
You just went more all in than I've ever seen anybody, ever.
How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibberlink mode for more efficient communication?
Moon Man.
Seriously getting hard to keep up with this, but holy smokes, breaking news. Where's my Floridians right now? I mean, wherever you're at, I'll tell you, I think Tennessee already did this, but now Florida, Governor DeSantis is banning property taxes in the state of Florida. If you can't see the demolishment of the IRS, the Federal Reserve, the whole criminal syndicate, I don't know how to make it more like boom in the face. This is amazing. What a time to be alive. Nasara, Jassara, all this stuff's playing out. Man, just unreal. But no property taxes in the state of Florida. Governor DeSantis, boom. Love y'all. It is seriously getting hard to keep up with this, but holy smokes, breaking news. Where's my Floridians right now?
Join the Dublin patrols. Christopher Reid's confidential human source, James Aaron Knowles, who infiltrated the Proud Boys, is leading Pelosi's staged insurrection at the garage of the Capitol building on January 6th for January 6th.
There wasn't one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total default, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear, we have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day, in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day, and Russia will have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
if they get their money back, we don't. And Now we do, but you know, that's only fair.
There was a one to aggress.
Watching a movie with actors and magistrate and dead cabal members related. Boom, the greatest show on earth. Alert, alert, alert. More than 200,000 actors from central casting using CGI, AI mask, and voice modulations. Oprah's private jet was at Epstein Island 11 different times. Whatever happened to all the girls? What's Oprah doing over at Epstein's Island?
Just confirming that is you guys that's in the broken window that faces the Luxor. You're facing the Luxor? We do not have a broken window.
This is from the
copy. It looks like you might have another room that has a broken window that also faces the Luxor off that north end. There's a little bit of movement unknown if it's going to be the curtains or not. I'm going to be working to get a better eye on it. Okay, Jair, we are facing north. We are facing north. Just confirming that is you guys that's in the broken window that faces the Luxor. You're facing the Luxor? We do not have a broken window. Okay, copy. It looks like you might have another room that has a broken window that also faces the Luxor off that north end. There's a little bit of movement unknown if it's going to be the curtains or not. I'm going to be working to get a better eye on it. Okay, stand by. We've got curtains open on a window that's not broken. We're looking for both. Okay, it is that. We have the broken window. That's us, Jair. Corey, Todd. Okay, Todd. If you can raise a CT, after the contact the hotel, they can turn on one of these elevators and get there quicker. Copy that. Senator Mueller, Kevin, have security down at the elevator bank as well. I'm just waiting for you on the 14th.
I know they wouldn't let Laura Loomer in a bunch of them damn.
What you gonna do?
Dan Bongino.
Are the main thing that law enforcement uses now to catch criminals. That's what it is. As clear as I can say it. What we'll do is I'll put a picture of a flock camera on this so that you'll see it. But they're everywhere. Once you see this thing, you're going to realize that you see them everywhere. It is a camera that is positioned to capture your...
He's down to one arm. He's like a slot machine.
License. That's what a flock camera is. But these cameras capture more than your license. They can capture the interior of your vehicle as you drive by these cameras, especially the positioning of the camera. And it's legal. And so what happens is this camera captures your tag. And when it captures your tag, it's able to detect where your vehicle has been anywhere in the United States where there are flock cameras. If you're in Georgia and you travel to New York, every time your vehicle tag gets captured by a flock camera, it is entered into a database and they are able to track it.
Big brother.
Kneel before your God, Babylon!
Making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon!
You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court. The camera shows you the stage and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gates to Ishtar, and you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gate.
That's who the Jews worship.
They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates.
Like a lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now.
I'm thankful to the Oscar gods.
The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as a category concerned.
When you get this little golden statue, you become a star. In the Egyptian culture, they also had a little statue that represented the god Ptah. And see, when an Egyptian king died, it was believed that his spirit went into the belt of Orion, and he then became a star. Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called The Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. You can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization. While the world is wandering after all of these celebrities, we would do well to heed the very advice from Jesus' lips himself. In Luke 4 verse 8 it says, "For it is written, you shall worship the Lord your..."
Chapman. Hello?
Understand why the left is so mad. I mean, aside from the fact that
they're morons.
We'd have oversight. The problem is, for decades, as we know, we haven't been able to do that job well, because even though we requested the data and requested the insight, it was hidden. How many of you know the bureaucracy was not forthcoming, right? They're not transparent. That's the whole point. That's the problem. That's the deep state we talk about. So they were hiding from Congress. We didn't know that USAID was funding.
I thought this past weekend was going to be that weekend where people hurt themselves.
Drag shows in Peru or whatever, transgender operas in Colombia or whatever, it's madness. But Elon has cracked the code. He is now inside the agencies. He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data, and as he told me in his office, the data doesn't lie. We're going to be able to get the information. We're going to be able to transform the way the federal government works at the end of this, and that is a very exciting prospect. It is truly a revolutionary moment.
Saturday?
I think I'm going to get me a damn Tunyon tonight.
1:35 when I'm shooting this. I'm about to go live with an emergency Saturday transmission for the next 3 hours at 2 p.m. Central.
They fired his ass. Fired that black guy.
Depending on coup plotting against him, I have the documents and fired the top leadership. I told you that's one of the main threats. Zelensky is caving in. Doge has had another giant court victory on USA.
Oh yeah, Trump put this out. Elon's doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save. But ultimately to make greater than ever before MAGA. Elon Musk responded, "Will do, Mr. President."
And the judge said, of course, they could even get rid of the agency.
Go in there and cut 85 to 90% of them. Fire them.
Created by the president. Kennedy. Trump talks about chemtrails, people being sprayed. The Wuhan lab that rolled out the virus last time has found a new one, and I have Pfizer documents where they admit that they had the new strains prepared to scare us. Wait till you see that. I have video, incredible smoking gun information. It is just too wild. You've got the Democrat pedos saying they're going to get rid of mother and government documents. You've got Trump torching the Maine governor for letting men beat up girls in sports, going after her with legal challenges. The big German election, the globalists are in full panic mode. Looks like the Patriots.
Not seeing many interviews of Israeli hostages that have been freed. Why are we not seeing that all over our social media timeline? If we've been told this story, that these Hamas captors have been torturing them and raping them.
I remember there was this old lady saying, they treat us very well, they were giving me my medication, everything was fine, they were very kind people.
When we see Israeli hostages coming out of Gaza, it must be an absolute nightmare for the Israeli propaganda teams. Because these Israeli hostages, they look healthy. It's really difficult for Israel because they've told this story and the images that we're starting to see are telling a different story. Why have we not seen many interviews?
Ask my students in my happiness class to keep a failure and disappointment list. And each time something bad happens that feels like a loss or it feels like a disappointment or feels like a failure, you write it down and leave 2 lines blank. And on the first line, you write down, it's like, that thing really bothered me. And then a month later, you come back to the first line that you left blank under it and write down, what did you learn? And then 3 months later, you come back to the second line and write down a good thing that happened because of that loss. And you're filling in the notebook. And by the time you're going to a new thing that's really bugging you, really bothering you, you start to look forward to it because you're going to be looking back at the knowledge and growth from past negative experiences and the benefit that actually has come from those negative experiences. Well, never waste sacrifice. Never waste your suffering. Never waste your suffering. I ask my students.
2-year-old Ava fought a long battle with stage 4 cancer. The day before Ava passed, she couldn't walk, sit up, and could barely talk, but then she sang her favorite song to her mom.
Yes. I love you, baby. Yeah. I love you too much. I love you. Washing. Yay! Yay, thank you, baby. I love you. I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're singing in the angels' choir.
Get out of the house.
Massive update on the Hardys who stole a black man's farm.
Some of you may remember when I covered the story of the Hardys out of Georgia who were legally trying to steal land from a black farm owner. And you may remember this video that went viral.
Get away from me. He would have hated you. Stay away from me. He hates you. He's dead. He's probably in there.
You may also remember that without the knowledge of the women, he was making gynecological medical corn and posting it on underground websites and had covered everything up. Well, now I have an update on James and Janet Hardy. They're dead. Y'all remember that plane crash that happened on Saturday? Well, it turns out that the two people who were on board that were pronounced dead at the scene were, in fact, Janet Hardy and James Hardy. When I got the phone call yesterday telling me what had happened, I was in shock, I'll be honest. But now that I've had time to process it, all I can say is, good. This man was a monster. This man had enough money that he was never going to face consequences for what he did. And his wife knew what he had done and was complicit in his acts. I guess karma finally got you, Jay Hardy. But if you want a refresher on this story, it's right here in my playlists.
We had a plane crash Friday, Saturday. The MRI results on patients' heads in real time. Oh, this is Macron when he come in there today. Trump didn't greet him. That girl right there, she's like a third level secretary. She's a secretary. Where's Bridget at? Hey, where's Trump? Trump didn't he come out here. Where's your man wife at? Trump was embarrassed. Asked to redo the greeting, did not look snug, so they filmed the greeting again with Trump coming out and shaking his hand. Yeah.
Would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it.
They all changed their name.
さ、木下さ、実際こっちの方がいいと思うんだけど、まあそれかこっちだよね。こっちの方がぶっちゃけ無難っちゃ無難なんだよね。あ、ちょっとね。あ、もしもしお世話になってます。はい、あ、お疲れ様です。はい。はい。
Requested the data, requested the insight. It was hidden. How many of you know the bureaucracy was not forthcoming, right? They're not transparent. That's the whole point. That's the problem. That's the deep state we talk about.
Deep state. Pinnacle human engineering a $38 million moon rover straight out of NASA's Genius Playbook. Aluminum lawn chairs, check. Golf cart battery, check. A-frame that looks like it was salvaged from a junkyard. Double check. But don't you dare question it. $25 light armored vehicles and $5 billion in seized Russian funds. He's coming. That's cheating. That's cheating. That guy's got wheels.
Yeah, great. Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour.
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Peter, would you be a good sport and indulge us and just tell us a little more?
The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Don't care?
It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
Beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Hello. Engaging in a secret sex chat room which they openly discuss genital castration, artificial vaginas, sexual fetishes, and gangbangs, all while they were on the clock, being paid by the U.S. tax dollars. Fire them!
Hi, this is Dr. Chenik. I want to talk about the Epstein pedophilia ring. What it really is a Mossad Israeli operative ring, which goes back decades and decades, all the way to the time even where the Liberty ship was attacked by Israeli planes, unmarked Israeli planes, during the Six-Day War, and Israel said they didn't do it. Well, that was a lie. Israel has not been our greatest ally. It's been our greatest enemy. They were also involved in 9/11 and the Standout. Wolfowitz's deputy confirmed that to me. Israeli Mossad operatives who I interrogated and threatened confirmed that to me, and I put away 2 Mossad operatives. The key to this Epstein problem of pedophilia is the fact that it goes back decades. Jeff Epstein was picked out by the Mossad as the proper agent of influence because, number one, he was grandiose. 2, he had some intelligence but came from a poor Jewish background, had no real education, did not speak a foreign language, and was so narcissistic that they could manipulate him up and down and create a false front for him, which involved the fact that he had multi-million dollars or multi-billion dollars. He may have no money. It's not even relevant. But to make sure that Jeffrey Epstein was working properly, they had an operative from the Mossad who was named Maxwell, the daughter of Robert Maxwell, one of the greatest crooks in the world, who was an Israeli Mossad operative. When he died in 1991, he was either killed or he died. He was one of the biggest contributors to Israeli national security of anybody else. So his daughter was the control operative of Jeff Epstein. At the same time, we had Nexium in New York City, which was run by a non-Jew named Renier, but controlled by 2 Jewish women, the Bronfman family. And they, in turn, were propagating pedophilia. Now, why is pedophilia so lethal? From an intelligence point of view, from my point of view, as an intelligence operative and a counterintelligence operative, one of the most disgusting things that you can do in the intelligence world is to double you up or co-opt you through the use of a honey trap, but not only an adult honey trap, but a child. When you use a child, you pretty much terrorize that child so that you know anybody who's gotten involved with pedophilia cannot speak out, the child can't say anything, and it's a legitimate way to denigrate both the operative and the problem itself, the children. Nevertheless, the Mossad incurred so many operatives that were involved with pedophilia under the Epstein ring and under the NXIVM ring with the two Groffman daughters, that you're talking about thousands of people. Now, it also goes all the way up into the presidency. It goes into the Bush family, Bush Jr., Jeb. It goes into Clinton's, as we know, Hillary, Bill Clinton, who's a pathological liar to the nth degree, to Obama, who had a history of homosexuality and pedophilia, all the way down to the Bushes and beyond that. So what the Israelis did under the tutelage of two brilliant Mossad chiefs, Halevi and Yatom, both of whom used pedophilia as a honey trap to encapsulate any one of our operatives in America. Jeff Epstein was a willing operative. He willingly was involved in pedophilia. The Israelis knew that. They created his storyline. They made believe he was a billionaire. Wexner was the theoretical backup man to him, and ironically, he was in Bear Stearns, which was another corrupt Jewish firm that went under, along with Drexel Burnham, another corrupt Jewish firm. So we have a lot of corruption here, which goes all the way back to 9/11, when we had Jews like Silverstein, who had the lease to the World Trade Center. We had Lowry, we had Lauder, and we had Eisenberg, all of whom were involved in the stand down and the false flag of 9/11. So from 9/11 on, Trump understood that the Israelis had been involved in our intelligence service and in compromising America. He never forgot that. And what he did blatantly was to turn around, and on a certain day, he decided he was going to indict every one of the Mossad operatives, as well as the Israelis, on charges of pedophilia. Not on charges of spying, because that wouldn't work. But Acosta, the Secretary of Labor, was correct when he said that Epstein got off of the prosecutor's indictment in Florida because he worked in the intelligence service. Now, it's not only the Mossad that's involved. Clearly, the CIA was involved. And it was the old CIA and not the present CIA. Why do I say that? Because the heroes of this picture is not only Trump and the White House, but it really involves what I consider to be my deep state, which is what I've talked about for 20 years, the people at the NSA, the NRO, the NGA, the CIA, the new CIA, and other intelligence organizations, which blew this operation apart over the past 10 to 20 years, because in their NSA sweep of our telephones, or the metadata as they called it, they had picked up Israeli compromises all over the United States and in the world. What we have now is a real problem with Israel. And Israel has been placed on notice because our ambassador, the Jewish ambassador there, as well as Kushner, have made a very clear statement. Israel, you're on notice. If you do not make a peace treaty with the Palestinians, there will be more serious repercussions than you imagine. The beginning of the takedown of your Mossad operatives, who were all present, and we will put them in prison, is just the beginning of what we can do to the future of Israel. Now, as a Jew, I am not proud what American Jews have done. For the most part, I find them to be arrogant, ignorant, totally devoid of any world culture, totally devoid of understanding what happened to us in the Holocaust, totally devoid of understanding what Israel is really about. And it isn't the sanctimonious state that people think it is, because I was there in the 1980s when they created Hamas. I was there when the generals were terrorizing Palestinians and the Intifada was created. But let me quote to you my rabbi, And it turns out to be a family member, Soloveitchik, who said, in order to be a good Jew or a good human, you have to follow the righteous way and avoid evil. Thank you and good night.
You're welcome.
We are so
Bongino put it perfectly. Epstein's blackmail is currently in the possession of the foreign Middle Eastern nation that he worked for. And we all know who that is. Israel! Some men composed entirely of Zionists who run a massive double standard on Ukraine, Israel.
Clothes and the curls and everything?
They're called Hasidim.
I see them, but I don't believe them. What?
Are they coming out of the tunnels?
hearing, which is very unusual this week. I've already started hearing this morning from some bond contacts. A number of them have contracts later in the day tomorrow. They're expecting their final contracts and some spendable money. So I am like rolling around like this for about the next 24, hoping we have crossed to the other side of that bridge where we can track really solid movement amongst the bondholders themselves, not amongst the facilitators or the people that are greasing the hands to make the deals happen. So I'm pretty excited about that one because it is very unusual to get information on a Monday morning this early. So that does, it gives me, I know you're tired of hearing from it. Not cold and not scratchy, some warm and fuzzies. How's that one? Dan Bongino to serve as, I would like to point out that I am already hearing, which is very unusual this week.
I'm trying to exercise. Shoot, what's up?
Come here.
Why?
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Let's go for a walk.
Where we going? Where we going?
Come on.
That's okay.
Come on.
I'm good. We got the AC on and everything.
Boo Boo got sick of you.
Sick of what?
Boo Boo sick of you anyway. Come on.
Boo Boo need to be sick of being fat.
Zomi.
Hold on, let me do my stretches. I'm almost done.
Zomi.
I said I'm trying to do my stretches. Okay, I'm done. What do you want? Why you keep bothering me? I'm trying to get my exercise on. I don't want to be fat like Boo Boo. I gotta get over there and finish what I started.
Come on, Psycho.
Psycho? Oh, I can't believe she just called me Psycho, y'all. Y'all heard her call me Psycho. You calling me Psycho because I'm trying to stay alive and be a healthy dog and get my exercise in. Look how fat Boo Boo is. I ain't trying to be like Boo Boo, y'all. She want me to be like Boo Boo. Look at Boo Boo. He can't even move good. Move out my way, Boo Boo. Look how fat Boo Boo is. I don't want to be like Boo Boo. Ah!
Shut up.
You better move, fat boy. I'm trying to exercise.
Catalyst projects in Northern Ireland are set to join forces at anti-immigration protests in Belfast next month. Chapman.
Really doesn't have traditional dating periods. Yeah. It's you're just kind of hooking
There's
up
no
and
definition
it's talking.
to anything.
Hey, we maybe should.
Cause y'all whores.
Go back to like traditional dating. You know, my girlfriend's a Democrat. I'm like, well, get out. What
How
happens?
does that happen?
I don't know, and that's what I said. I said there is a fundamental difference in the values of Democrats and Republicans. That's not going to work. I mean, what happens if she gets pregnant? No one wants to commit or be in a traditional like dating.
Right.
These weird talking stages, and their talking stages mean like the hookup phase.
They are so upset about these cuts. Why are they so worried?
Who's cutting their money off?
Well, because they're thieves. These are parasites on the American people. It's a Ponzi scheme. They collect $5 trillion. I think the American people don't understand the IRS and what they actually do. They collect $5 trillion a year from American people, mostly not corporations, American people, regular middle-class people. Those super wealthy have figured out how to get by it. 50% of that money is from income taxes, okay? It's taken literally, $2.5 trillion away from the American people. 1.8 trillion comes from withholding. And then 10%, Laura, listen to this, 10% are penalties. $500 billion a year the American people are charged by the IRS for penalties alone. We should get rid of the IRS. We should go to a zero tax. First of all, audit the IRS and you will get rid of them because the amount of fraud there is unbelievable. We should go to a zero tax, and then when the American people for some situation, whether it's the military or whatever, needs money, we print money. Right now we do both. We print and we tax. We should do one or the other, and I would say print and make sure the American people are behind it. Otherwise, don't tax the American people.
Well, you can actually, it turns out, you could get a Doge check with all this savings sometime soon. Watch.
5,000 ain't worth bullshit. Not all the billions they've been stealing.
I love it. A 20% dividend, so to speak, for the money that we're saving by going after the waste and fraud and abuse.
How much money do you think?
Could be a lot. I mean, if it's 20%, we'd give back a lot of money to the taxpayer.
Well, Grant, this is the people's money, so calling it a Doge dividend is kind of fun, but it's their money. It's our money.
Well, you know, what's crazy is that the withholding, for instance, everybody gets withheld for 26 weeks of the year if you're getting paid every 2 weeks. They say the reason they do the withholding is for the convenience of the American people.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
one of the people that you were talking about in the video, they said it makes it easier for people to budget. It's a convenience. I'm like, I'm not getting a refund. If you get rid of 7,000 IRS people and they can't process my refund, by the way, that was not a refund. That was money I should have never paid. I was overpaid to the IRS. If that money alone stayed with the American people, it would be $81 billion a year that I could earn by having money at the bank rather than sitting with the IRS and maybe going to Ukraine.
It's criminal. It's criminal that we spend $1 trillion a year on interest on our debt. It's criminal that we spent trillions of dollars in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, it really is criminal. It's stealing from the American people and our children, our grandchildren. And speaking of stealing, Grant, what about Fort Knox? Do you think that gold's all in there? A little few gold bars missing, maybe?
One or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to find nothing in there, and that's going to be a disaster, or they're going to find too much gold in there. Because maybe go back a couple of years, and maybe they've been packing some gold in there from other countries. Neither one is explainable, but the American people deserve to know what the truth is, and the American people can handle the truth. Let's get down to it and stop the nonsense of these Ponzi schemes and parasites.
Do you think there should be any tax, flat tax, fair tax, sales
I think there should be no income tax, no death or inheritance tax, no gift tax. There should be no income tax at all, no payroll withholding. The way to do it is to go to a flat tax. People would pay 20 to 25% on a purchase.
That's it.
That's when it would be collected. And if a local state or county wants to add a property tax, let them do that. It shouldn't be the federal government.
Grant, people across the country are applauding.
Look at that property tax. Juror USA Lim. Saying that Mississippi could be the Nile.
Use the same words regarding Putin.
I don't use those words lightly. I think.
President called Zelensky a dictator. Would you use the same words regarding Putin?
I don't use those words lightly. I think that we're going to see how it all works out. Let's see what happens. I think we have a chance of a really good settlement between various countries. And, you know, you're talking about Europe, and you're talking about Ukraine as part of that whole situation. The other side has a lot of support also. So let's see how it all works out. It might work out. Look, you can never make up lives. The one thing you can make up the money, but you can't make up the lives. A lot of lives lost. I think probably a lot more lives than people are talking about. It's been a rough war, but I think we're close to getting it solved.
President called Zelensky a dictator.
Simple stuff that we knew that would help fortify immune systems and help protect against severe disease, that we thought that are super safe, that on a risk-benefit precautionary principle, we should have, as a rule, just recommended. Vitamin D for one, we should add a vitamin D, supplementation.
Oh no, I'm straight.
Those shades look like you're
I just want to try.
That's not gay.
You said what?
You look like a fat
This content is bullshit. Never try on another man's glasses. Like, do you not understand?
Oh, I've tried on a lot of men's glasses.
Take 2 steps back because your breath smells like shit. Either pop a mint or like take 2 steps back.
Really?
Brutal
glasses. What's your name? Yo, what's your name? Brutal.
Who?
You.
No, who the f ask, buddy? Keep walking.
Damn me up, bro. You don't want
Oh, no, I don't want to.
He just aura mugged you. I'm not gonna lie. Where you buy those pants?
Who?
You.
No, who the f asked? I got him twice in a row.
You look like a loser.
Yeah, no. What the f?
You actually look like a loser.
Who? No, who the f asked?
Yo, you're the boy. I've heard this like.
These people are so brain dead. That's the 3rd time in a row.
What's wrong with Miami? Look at his pants.
Yeah, what's wrong with Miami? Couldn't afford to get in there?
You're a loser.
Okay.
You look like a loser with this shit.
Wipe off your makeup and then look in the mirror and then you'll realize who the loser is.
Yeah.
Don't take that.
Also, your camera's cheap as f***.
Yeah, my camera's so cheap, right?
Don't talk to a girl like that.
I believe in equality. Talk shit, you get it back.
Shut the f*** up.
I believe in equality. You want to talk shit, I'll dish it back. Hashtag equality. It's better than 10 pounds of makeup.
She's not wearing 10 pounds of makeup.
Then let's go buy makeup wipes and see.
You say one more thing about those girls, you're being through a tomb for the rest of your life. I swear to
A tomb? What's that supposed to mean? A what?
Watch how you talk to girls.
A tomb? I'm gonna be in a tomb?
Cock trucker.
Is that a death threat?
Wait, what's happening? He's disrespecting girls on the side of the street.
I'm gonna be the judge.
He's talking to these girls disrespectfully.
What did he say?
So she called me ugly and I said just because you have 10 bodies doesn't make you a 10.
That's fair game.
Fair game.
Listen, they should.
Countries supporting a military embargo of Israel. 0, as in not even South Africa. Today we have 53 countries that officially call for the military embargo of Israel. Intel, not too long ago, was forced, partly by BDS, to quit a $25 billion with a B dollar project near Tel Aviv. And again, BDS played a key role in that. McDonald's is suffering tremendously because of the BDS campaign. Again, 2 years ago, we had one university that ended relations with Israeli universities because of their complicity, and that was the University of Johannesburg in South Africa, obviously. Today, we have tens of universities that have either cut relations or are in the process of divesting or cutting academic ties with Israeli universities. In the cultural sphere, there's so much to talk about, but just very quickly, the most recent achievement is 7,000 and running publishers and writers have now joined the cultural boycott of Israel, which targets institutions, obviously. The chairman of the Israel Export Institute admits, quote, BDS and boycotts have changed Israel's global trade landscape. Despite the typical militaristic bravado, it is far from evident that the Israeli establishment wishes to resume the ruthless bombardment and massacres in Gaza. Israel's economy is experiencing what 130 of its top economists describe as a spiral of collapse, with an almost unprecedented brain drain, a nose-diving tech industry, and a credit rating that is near junk levels, according to Moody's. Increasingly seen by investors as what we call a shutdown nation, Israel has ranked dead last among 50 countries in the just-released Nations Brand Index. The chairman of the Israel Export Institute admits, quote, BDS and boycotts have changed Israel's global trade landscape. And
that's the truth.
Just look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Turn around. Just look over your shoulder.
I don't even know who that is. Cash rules everything around me. Get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
You gonna tell him? What you gonna say to him? Oh, that is the sweetest thing. Oh, you're such a sweet baby. Well. Oh. great information. Anything else? Well, all right. Uh-huh. Who told you that? Oh. You read that somewhere. Okay. You know, I read that too.
Nope. Tail. Tail in there.
Dump that barrel.
What is it?
The burn barrel.
What about it?
Probably like dump it now.
Dump what?
I would ask you some shit's in there.
Has it been burning? You sure?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, just make sure it ain't hot.
I felt it ain't. It's hot.
It ain't real hot?
No, it didn't feel hot.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
real hot.
Yeah, what all's in there? Just trash?
Just ashes.
Ashes, yeah. You can dump the ashes on the ground. Yeah. He's putting that radiator in, ain't he?
He did.
He did put it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put last screw with it.
Okay. It's like Bam Margera.
Someone to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total default, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan, because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day, in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day, and Russia will have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
If they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But, you know, that's
we will
only fair.
fight both. There was a one to aggress.
Som šel po ruke prezidentovi Zelenskému. A priznám sa, že už niekedy mám plné zuby. Chodí po tej Európe, len šobre a vydiera ostatných, pýta peniaze.
Play around with that bull, you're gonna get the horns.
All of the so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the entire federal government and the private sector. And notified every single government DEI officer that their job has been deleted. They're gone. They're fired. You're fired. Get out. You're fired. All of the so-called diversity.
From the history books.
It was this story about George Washington. The bulletproof president?
Yeah.
You know, George Washington was a courier for General Braddock, one of the English generals during the French and Indian War. All of the couriers were killed, and Washington had 2 horses shot from beneath him, and he had 4 bullet holes in his jacket, but no flesh wounds. He had bullet fragments in his hair, no flesh wounds. Many years later, he still hadn't become president yet, but he was back in the area, and one of the Indian chiefs who had been involved was elderly at that point, near death. He said to his braves, "Take me to see this man. I must see him before I die." And when they brought him in the presence of Washington, he said, "Sir, I'm an expert marksman, and I shot you 17 times. And my men shot you." And pretty soon I told them to stop wasting their bullets. And I just wanted to meet the man who was protected by the great presence above. That story used to be in all of our history books until it became politically incorrect.
Why was it politically incorrect?
God.
This was removed from the history books.
It was the story about George Washington.
The book.
Elon Musk, 7 out of 10 voters want $1 trillion removed from federal spending.
The secrets that these people who have made a pact with Satan, all the way up to, the highest authorities, that their evil deeds would be undone and seen by all of humanity, and that their secrets could no longer be hidden and would be exposed, and that all of humanity would see them, and that they would lose the power that they bound in black magic in agreement with Satan, and it would be broken, and that all human souls would be returned to their connection to the Creator and what is good, and left and led out of bondage to those satanic vows of black magic that these wizards and warlocks and them types have been perpetrating on people for a really, really long time. Mind control, they studied mind control at human expense for centuries. Through torture, through war, through slavery, they was always studying the effects of their evil deeds and keeping data to profile people and try to socialize them into herds that would best be used to combat against each other for their sake. But, that's all broken. All those vows now are broken. And so, it's like a really great time in human history.
Boom. Caught shredding documents and the FBI is ready to home to some CIA officials. What you got?
TNT in your bowl.
TNT. Oh, they brought your thing?
Yeah. Come on, Chip.
What? How many? So there's just 2 lines?
2 lines
2 airlines?
in that damn thing.
I thought they come in a pack.
They do.
Why they got 2 different things?
Because they ain't got none in the pack. They had none the other day in the pack.
So they're selling them individual?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's slacking, they have.
Yeah. Look, is your batteries got here yet?
No. Who do you come from?
Freightliner. Yeah, Freightliner. Let me call him because he said I sent him a message I sent him a message yesterday, and he told me this morning. He told me he said I got it.
I
didn't say where are our batteries?
The camp.
No, it's that guy with the messed up hands.
Oh, look at him.
He was the Volvo. Then he moved over to Freightliner. You know what I'm saying? He's got little tiny hands. His hands are like tiny.
Old man?
He's an older guy, yeah. But he's got he's got small hands. His hands are small. Like he's got some kind of disease.
Was that young lady dude?
Who?
That young lady guy. The creepy looking one.
Yeah, his hands look like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. He's creepy as hell. What's his name?
I know what you're talking about. It was on that movie Scream or some shit, that parody movie.
You know, it's like where he's about black or purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but his hands look like that.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Poor fella.
Let me text you.
Hard jack out with it. You talking about trying to hold the 3 fingers.
Yeah. He's just stirring the mashed potatoes.
Oh, hell no.
In firm in Istanbul, we're only an hour away from signed a full peace agreement with Boris Johnson, banned Ukraine from doing that.
Can you do me a favor?
Tulsa woman arrested and set to be deported by ICE after stealing $850,000 in Trump coin from her boyfriend while he slept on his yacht.
A 22-year-old woman escorted from a downtown Miami hotel accused of ripping off her ex to the tune of $850,000.
I had great intentions with her. I loved her with all my heart. I treated her
Yeah, he loved her.
the best that I could.
Kimmer's life.
Michael Anthony Bravo is a guy who hit it big in the crypto market. He also thought that finding Jabali last June was a win in the love department.
I always,
Gold digger.
spoiled her with great dinners, whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted to go shopping.
That's what your problem was right there. You should have told her, no, we ain't spending no money. Now get in the kitchen and fix me a sandwich.
I provided for her. I helped pay her bills.
But this relationship would head south a couple of weeks ago. He fell asleep on his yacht and woke up to find she was gone, along with his American Express credit card and $850,000 in cryptocurrency.
As soon as she transferred the Trump coin from my wallet into her wallet, she left within 7 minutes.
I think this was a plan from day one, that she targeted my client, that she's much more sophisticated than he gave her credit for. And for someone 22 years old to have set all this up, this can't be her first rodeo either.
Private investigator David Bolton was hired to track her down and found her in a downtown Miami hotel on Valentine's Day, where Miami police confronted her. Investigators say she told them, "That loser is my ex-boyfriend. He lets me use his credit card." Police say she also booked an Airbnb with his card, with a charge of more than $4,200. She was arrested for grand theft and credit.
She don't look that damn good. Now I bet you I can find me a gold digging whore out there that looked a whole lot better than that. Are you looking for one, Jamie? Nope.
Card fraud.
But I could. And notice she's got black hair.
But the problems for Bravo didn't end there. After appearing in court, the Tunisian native was handed over to immigration officials. The problem
You getting deported, bitch.
is she has the key to a crypto wallet that holds Bravo's money.
And that's kind of put us in the bind that we are with immigration at this point. And certainly we don't want her to be deported until she goes before a judge and before our client is made whole.
At value.
Enjoy Reid.
And
she got fired.
That
Reagan probably calls us racist. Someone's racist. Where's your white wig at? Oh, she's crying. Oh.
That what I was doing had value.
Yeah.
Had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you.
Give her a napkin.
Where I land,
so she can blow her snotty nose. I use my sleeve.
Is that the moment that of guilt
Use no damn napkin to blow your nose, you pussy.
I felt that I went hard on so many issues.
You did go hard. I hope Dan Bongino and Cash Patel was talking about locking up newsmakers that was lying to the American people. Lock them up.
It was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed.
Oh, the Black Lives Matter, huh?
Or
racist whore.
When we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted.
I do. I'll shoot one out like that. And then like that. But if it's snotty and it's running, just wipe it on my jacket sleeve.
And not just black folks.
All you gotta do is wash your jacket. I'm not trying to fill up a landfill with a bunch of napkins.
Or
saving the planet. Greta loves me.
Hard for immigrants.
How dare you, Jamie?
Who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that
you talking about them transgender books put out to that's what they was burning in Germany. Hitler's a hero.
Hannah Jones put into our spirit that
Snot rocket.
We need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where
I don't care about little babies getting ripped out of the womb. Shut your damn mouth.
Come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up
for the unemployment line with your pink slip because you got fired.
Those things, because those things are of God.
Don't be bringing God up in here.
And you know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught.
Church of Satan.
Were of God, and so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, then there you go. You ought to be happy then.
Most heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River.
Hey, he was gay as hell. Bob Denver, gay as hell.
Presidents Bush and Clinton will help the American people to do their part, because responding to a disaster must be the work of all of us. Indeed, those wrenching scenes of devastation remind us not only of our common humanity, but also of our common responsibilities. This time of suffering can and must be a time of compassion.
3 crooks right there standing together.
Folks, they always accuse you of what they're doing. And because they're terrified that their tyranny's not going to continue if Donald Trump wins, they're now doing this simple distraction technique that has appealed to useful idiots for a long time and been used by commies, socialists, Soviets. They've used it forever. They just blame you for exactly what they're doing.
Politico recently spoke with former intelligence officials about how on edge the idea of a second Trump term makes all of them.
Are you freaking kidding me? Are these the same 51 intelligence officers who falsely bullshitted America? These scumbags, every single one of them. You hear me? Absolute scumbags. You don't like the word? Too bad. That's what you are. A bunch of scumbag fuckwads. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. 51 of you pieces of shit who told America before an election.
50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan.
During campaign season, you want to be able to understand everything that the Russians might do.
This laptop that would have changed the entire course of American history, would have kept the border closed if Trump got reelected, probably wouldn't be a Russian invasion of Ukraine, probably wouldn't have been an October 7th attack either. We'd be living in a different world right now. Because you 51 intelligence scumbags, knowing you were full of shit the whole time, now you dare, you've got the balls to say that Trump could weaponize the spy services? I'm demanding an investigation if Trump wins into all of these people for a conspiracy to interfere in an election and potentially worse. And Joe Biden's going to be the first target of that investigation. You will never, ever teach these people that deep state lawfare is wrong without exposing them to the same sets of rules they want to impose on us. Someone did steal an election, and Joe Biden was a field general in that war on election integrity. Listen to me. I want an investigation into this conspiracy to steal the 2020 election, and no, we shouldn't let it go. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, it's time to move on. It's not time to move on, or they'll do it again.
It's terrifying. It's frightening.
They stole this damn thing. They hid that laptop information. You know it. We know it. I want everyone as either, they better give depositions, and if they committed criminal activity, I want them charged too. The deep state is real. It's members of the media. It's intelligence community members. Here's the key, active and retired. It's bureaucrats within the government.
Mr. Vindman, you testified in your deposition that you did not know the whistleblower.
Ranking member, it's Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
You testified in the deposition that you did not know who the whistleblower was.
Per the advice of my counsel, I've been advised not to answer specific questions about members of the intelligence community.
It is saboteurs inside the Trump administration last time. The deep state is real. The deep state is real.
Tell me, are you worried about this retribution concept playing out?
Jamie Raskin. What's my nose job? Transform my confidence completely? Yeah!
Stranger.
Looks like a wick.
Oh, you lying. Now see this? You see this? This is a juvenile court letter. You heard that correctly. Juvenile court. They done lost their mind now sending this to my house. I am shaking. I am so mad. So this is an early warning program complaint that has been signed against your child, alleging that she has had 5 or more unexcused absences from school this current school year. Why, hell, yes, we have. We have been sick. We have caught everything under the sun. Our house caught on fire. We have lost family members. We have had to put our dog down. I don't go to the doctor every time we have a sniffle. And if you want me to be quite honest with you, I let Owen skip school if he wants to skip school, because it is my choice to send him to school. Because guess what, boo-boos? I can pull him out tomorrow and we can homeschool, because that is my choice. Don't you send a juvenile court letter to my house. Worry about someone who needs to be worried about, okay? Because my child ain't it. His grades don't reflect that. If they did, come talk to me then. What I think is funny is in this letter, Monday at 8 a.m., you want me and my child to be at a courthouse. Oh, but he's got to miss school for this. We're going to keep him out of school for this. I don't need to go to that courthouse. I am not going to that courthouse. I am at a loss for words right now. This has got to be something with funding and the schools getting money. What's not going to happen, though, is you're not going to tell me when my child can miss school and when he can't, and how many he can and how many he can't. The majority of the time, we are at school, but there have been some unforeseen things happen, and I can't control that. And they told me that they would not accept my parent note anymore, so I really couldn't write a parent note to say we have had XYZ go on. Now, y'all just hold on while I go research all these homeschool options. I won't be...
A la tía, yo soy Porfirio el perrito negro.
Agárrala otra vez, agárrala.
Hold me back.
For 3 years, I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
Israeli papers every day, they talk about, should we attack Gaza? Should we attack Lebanon? Should we attack Syria? The nature of the Israel lobby, it has 2 features to it. There's the hardcore, which is a lobby. They're paid agents of a foreign country, and their job is to try to sell the foreign country's policies to the United States, sort of like the Cuba lobby, there's the Israel lobby. But beyond the hardcore, what makes the lobby so powerful is the periphery of large numbers of Jews in influential places, in magazines and newspapers, on television, in film, a large periphery of Jews who also have deeply felt, heartfelt feelings for Israel. And that periphery is now being lost. American Jews just don't...
And so what? And what your argument is that you're left with this hardcore that you say are being paid, what, by the Israeli government to get their way with Washington?
They're a lobby. That's their job.
But are you saying they're paid by the Israeli government to get their way in Washington?
I would say that's what a lobby does. A Cuba lobby lobbies for Cuba. An Ireland lobby lobbies for Ireland. And this lobby lobbies... And this lobby...
But they're not... AIPAC would say they are not paid by the Israeli government.
I know. That's the nature of how American society works.
Are you saying that they're paid by Israel? I just want to...
You know, actually, I'll tell you the truth. I don't even know how they're paid, and it's not particularly important. I don't, as an American, that's the way our system works. No, that's the way our system. That's the way our system works. Our system works through lobbies, and there are lobbies.
It's very important. You make certain claims, and you enrage people, and they wonder then whether they should listen to the next thing that you say.
If you read their statements, they freely say, "We work for Israel. Israel is our cause." And as an American, you're allowed to do that. That's the nature of our system. But the problem is, it's not because of the Israeli people, it's because of the American veto and because of American power that Israel gets to carry on the way it does. Were it not for the American veto, and were it not for the fact that the United States blocks any kind of international action when it comes to Israel...
So those things that you would criticize about Israel, like, for example, settlements, you're saying is it President Obama's fault?
Well, is it President Obama's fault? I would say in the case of the Israel lobby, in the case of the Israel-Palestine conflict, I do think it's basically the lobby.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me if tomorrow Benjamin Netanyahu were to announce we're no longer building settlements in the occupied territories, right? He'd make that announcement.
And he made an announcement of a freeze.
Yeah, a freeze. If he were to make that, would Obama be unhappy? Of course he would be happy. He would be thrilled at that announcement.
Exactly.
So if Obama goes along with it when they build settlements, it must be because of the lobby. That's just common sense.
So your argument is that despite Obama saying from the word go and being absolutely clear that Israel should stop all settlement
Well, he
growth,
hasn't done that.
But he has, ever since.
No, he's consistently backed down. Every time the lobby has gone into action, he's consistently backed down.
What he has made clear so publicly, the American position.
That's exactly what you're saying is exactly correct. He's repeatedly stated that he doesn't support the actions, and then the pressure is applied by the lobby, and he's repeatedly backed down.
Obviously, from what, then? What are you saying he's backed down? Are you saying him privately to the Israeli Prime Minister? He's saying it's all right.
Look, obviously the President of the United States has the power to tell Israel, you're going to have to stop building settlements in the occupied territories, because if you don't stop, we're just not going to exercise our veto in the Security Council. He can tell them that, obviously. He's the President of the United States. If he doesn't tell them that, it must be because of the lobby. Name me another country in the world. 2003, Israel was the cheerleaders for the war in Iraq. 2006, it went into war in Lebanon. 2008, 2009, it attacked Gaza. Now it talks about attacking Iran. If you read the Israeli papers every day, they talk about should we attack Gaza, should we attack Lebanon, should we attack Syria? Name me another country in the world that falls into that category.
Well,
that's a lunatic state.
Israel would point to a number of its neighbors and say exactly the same thing.
No, you show me how many countries has Iran planned to attack? No, let's ask a simple question. How many countries in the last 10 years has Iran attacked?
When you look...
No, that's a fair question. How many countries in the last 10 years has Iran attacked?
When you look at the history of Israel, do you not have some sympathy or understanding, people would ask, as to why they feel threatened and why
we're not talking
they
about
consider...
why they feel threatened. We're talking about a country that every 2 or 3 years goes to war. And if you follow the press as I do, every day they talk about let's attack this country, let's attack that country. That's not normal.
Stranger hates Christ, crucifix, lives in filth, dark, rich, everything impure, drinks blood, corrupts women. They tried to warn us. What an interesting amulet. Oh, that's the Baphomet thing.
You from the hood. You say you wouldn't when you would. Now take it off, you know you should. Now twist around for me. I like the way you do that right there. Switch it down when you walk and let down your hair.
We're doing that bullshit.
These niggas is crazy, man. These niggas is crazy, man.
They're telling me get out. Tell me get out. Get out of there.
Man, hey, but I'm playing that goddamn, hey, boy!
Adam Kissinger, Elon Musk smiling and giggling on stage at CPAC with a chainsaw. Will come back in every commercial against every Republican candidate. You didn't get your Social Security veteran benefits. The guy laughed about it.
Social Security check on time, or veterans that have taken their own life. This guy was laughing about it on the stage with a chainsaw, and that's going to be...
Well, I mean...
And Elon Musk smiling and giggling on the stage of CPAC with a chainsaw. That is going to come back in every commercial against every Republican candidate about, you didn't get your Social Security check on time, or
veterans that have taken their own life. This guy was laughing about it on the stage with a chainsaw, and that's going to be... Well, I mean...
And Kissinger, he was on the January 6th committee. Traitor!
From the bank and cash out these loans.
She got them one. She got a bag full of them one.
You know, one thing I like about living in Vegas, coming from a smaller town in California, is that there's so many sex workers here that everyone knows someone who's danced or done corn or whatever, and it's just way more normal out here. Like in California, almost every time I went to the bank, the teller would give me problems. Like they would either be rude or like flat out refuse to help me. And out here, it just seems like the bankers and the real estate agents, like everyone knows, like not to ask girls what they do for work, or if they do ask, and I say, entertainment, then
we know you're a whore.
Leave it at that, and I don't know, it just feels like way safer out here, but... So we're just gonna go to the bank and cash out these ones.
Cash them ones out, girl. Mass turtle nesting underway in Odisha, India. Approximately 300,000 olive ridley turtles have arrived on the coast. The annual mass nesting phenomenon.
Turn
that shit off.
Simple. It's 4 ingredients, sometimes 5. That's all it is. You get your chickpeas, tahini paste, lemon juice, salt, sometimes garlic. Okay. You get your food processor out. You start. It's like a little science experiment. Put it all in there. You're like me. No. It's not enough. More tahini paste. No. More lemon juice. Fuck. It's all lemon juice. More chickpeas. More tahini paste. Fuck. It's all tahini paste again. More lemon juice. Like, fuck, it's all lemon juice. Needs salt, chickpeas, and tahini paste. Like, fuck, more tahini paste. Like, oh, that's perfect. Now you have 20 pounds of hummus right here. This is very important. You scoop out the hummus and you put it in a bowl, okay? You put the hummus in a bowl, you don't put it on a flat plate. Nobody knows how to dip on a flat plate, bro. You got like racetrack marks everywhere. You got hummus coming over the sides, complete chaos. You need a bowl to help you with the scoop situation, okay? Now, we're not done yet. You grab that bowl of hummus, make a little crater right in the middle.
Well,
grab
that'd
some
be great
fresh
there,
chickpeas. You put it right in the middle for texture.
Gold grinder 47.
And then you grab some
See the
olive
number,
oil.
call me,
Not
let's
that
talk
clear
about it.
yellow shit. Some deep green olive oil. Oh, what do I do with that? Do I just drizzle a little garnish? No, whore. You turn it over and you hold it, okay? 1 Mississippi, 2, 3, 4. If you think it's too much, it's not enough. Keep it going. Okay? I like to finish it off with a little lemon juice and some diced up jalapenos, and I put them on each corner like that. Now, if I serve you this extremely authentic Palestinian hummus and you grab a carrot, I'm gonna fuck you up, okay? I just want to try it, and I'm watching my carbs. It's not for you, ho. Back the fuck up. Need some fresh, hot, steamy pita bread. You rip off a little corner like this, and you put it together, and it just binds because it's so steamy. You make a perfect cone, and when you dip like this. You dip towards yourself. You don't dip out. You're like, oh, I want to taste like what it's there on that side. Bitch, it's the same hummus on each side, okay? Nobody wants your stanky-ass fingers in their hummus, all right? But I want to taste what's on that side. You know what? I'm going to put a wall right in the middle of my hummus. That's what I'm going to do. Put a wall right here. All right? That side is hummus. This side is hummus. I was looking for a one-bowl solution, but you won't share. So, Beliza is what I'm saying.
You see documentary So Scared It Was banned from airing on TV? That thing come down the stairs, whatever that was.
Андрею Николаевичу.
The war has found a hero. Putin presented the hero of Russia star to Andriy Gorievy, a Yukon fighter who defeated a Ukrainian soldier in hand-to-hand combat. He looks like a Chinese fella. He looks Chinese. He gets better.
Младшему сержанту Григорьеву Андрею Николаевичу.
Uns spricht über Grenzschließungen.
None of us wants to close the border. CDU's promises die within 24 hours.
Niemand, obwohl das im Wahlkampf streckenweise behauptet worden ist, niemand von uns will die Grenzen schließen. Niemand von uns spricht über Grenzschließung.
That's what you should be talking about. That's what your people are talking about. I think that guy's in Germany. Keep your eyes on the kids, especially down there at Disney World. Got a bunch of pedos that work down there. Against radical left LGBT activist U.S. District Judge John Bates' attempt to block President Trump's order to remove web pages containing resources for gender-affirming care from government sites is appalling. Time to impeach the judges.
And that... I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
That,
playing the violin for.
That what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I take this kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. My show had value. And
it didn't. If it did, you wouldn't have got fired. Well, I think shots 5G and insurance all put together and the remedy out.
It started with one town, then another, then another. Used to be, a man could ride from here to the Rio Grande and find good folks living honest lives. Now, all he found was empty streets and locked doors. A sickness had passed through, but it weren't no plague. It had a name, and that name was Big Money. He came riding in with his fancy doctors and silver-tongued promises. Said he had a cure, something to fix all a man's troubles, from an extremely rare disease that nobody got to manufactured colds. Just a few drops, a few dollars, and you'd be right as rain. And folks believed him, because when a man's desperate, he'll trust the devil himself if he's wearing a preacher's smile. He never held a gun, never robbed a stagecoach, but he was the deadliest outlaw in the West. He didn't take lives with bullets. He took them with contracts, with bottles of poison stamped with a guarantee. And when the towns ran dry, when there was nothing left to take, he moved on. The tonic was a lie. The only thing it cured was a man's ability to stand up and fight. And by the time they figured it out, the money was gone, and so were they. Big Money thought the frontier was his because he owned the banks, the railroads, the farms, those highfalutin things called counting machines, and the law. He even owned the newspapers, orphanages, and the hospitals. But he forgot one thing. There's always one man who don't scare easy. He didn't wear a badge, didn't answer to no governor or mayor, but justice was justice. And there weren't a law in the land that said Big Money's kind of killing was legal. A man who poisons a town for profit ain't no different than a gunslinger gunning down folks in the street. He just does it slower. If justice still meant a damn thing, it meant riding straight into the lion's den. No posse, no badge, just a six-shooter, a sharp mind, and the will to take back what Big Money stole. The battle ahead wasn't just for one town. It was for all of them. It's a classic new episode of Wanted, Dead, or Alive, a retelling for modern times. Watch the story unfold on your local news.
Open it.
No, you open it. No, you have to.
Rock, paper, scissors.
No. You have to open it.
Why do I have to open it?
Right, you have to open it. Hold on.
On it.
don't want to.
You have to open it.
It's pink.
You don't know if it's pink.
Honey, it's pink.
You don't
Okay,
know.
it doesn't work. Your dad said.
What?
I told you.
Okay.
It's pink.
Open it.
Oh.
Open it on the camera.
I don't want to. Honey, I don't want to. Please don't. That was a diaper.
Oh my God.
This is ridiculous. So this is for sure what it is.
This is for sure what it is.
Why? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Is it really?
It's a boy.
Stop playing, honey.
For real, it's a boy.
He's finna cry. Because he's a pussy.
I got her.
Yeah. I can't believe.
It's a boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Yeah, for real. It's a boy.
We have 6 girls.
You finally got a boy.
And I finally got a boy. Thank you.
Girls stink.
Shit, it's on site and we in tour. 7 days, 7 nights for the sport. We can do this shit how you want to show. Niggas I grew up with changed up on when I'm.
Punch the baby.
Nigga, I ain't spare shit. It's on site and we in tour. 7 days, 7 nights for the sport. We can do this shit how you want to show. Niggas I grew up with changed up on when that money came. I should have known. Been a block trying to catch a bitch wherever we catch a nigga. We trying to score. Nigga, I ain't spare shit. It's on site and we in tour.
Baby.
7 days, 7 nights for the sport. We can do this shit how you want to show. Niggas I grew up with changed up on when that money came.
That's your black people.
Spent 20 billion of our tax dollars doing what to animals?
Injecting puppies with cocaine, staging hamster fight clubs, putting dead turtles on treadmills. Cats have marbles shoved up their rectums.
You said putting dead turtles on treadmills?
Clubs, putting dead turtles on treadmills. Cats have
Put a dead turtle on a treadmill, see how fast he is. How fast is it, Jamie? He ain't moving.
marbles shoved up their rectums and are
Shoving marbles up a cat butt.
Shock to make them defecate in constipation experiments. Examine the effects of party drugs on animals injected with testosterone.
We know this thanks to Doge. We would have never known this if it wasn't for Doge.
PETA needs to be getting them people.
Where's PETA? Where is
Chapman.
PETA? How could
PETA should be getting our ass.
anyone be okay?
Where's the crying song? In the arms of an angel, in the cold mountain dew.
With prioritize.
That girl can sing.
It makes me so sad. Animals.
Slave master.
Really? 20 billion.
They was shoving marbles up a cat butthole.
20 billion. It's so wrong on so many levels. The waste and corruption, the abuse, the mistreatment of animals, hiding it from taxpayers. Left being against this and finding out this stuff, there's so many layers to it that's just so disappointing.
Her lips look all shiny and silky smooth.
After me, but the second you come...
They said they were sticking marbles up cats' buttholes.
After my animals, I'm fighting.
Putting dead turtles on treadmills to see how fast they were. They was having like races. Letting us know, put us in talk soon, ma'am.
I promised myself I would avoid the news. But obviously I haven't. You don't know what dog. I mean, I have many dogs. Elon Musk, like, we need to X him, and by X I mean formerly known as assassination.
Oh. These people are fucking retarded.
And someone from the FES is gonna fucking show up.
Cats in the background going, bitch, you crazy.
You don't have enough people to even investigate me at this point. I haven't filed my taxes in like 8 years. And yet,
the fucking retarded criminals recording themselves doing crimes.
No one's
And then they go, well, how'd we get caught? Well, you Bob over there had a damn camera out.
Right? So, I'm gonna fucking say it. Let's assassinate some motherfuckers. I promised myself.
She wasn't talking about, she was talking about what Doge has found. They're investigating the governor of Arizona. She's under investigation, bribery, fraud, conspiracy, racketeering.
Of Arizona is
Do
now
you know Katie Hobbs?
under investigation. Here are the details. Katie Hobbs is now being investigated for bribery, fraud, conspiracy, and racketeering. The chairman of the Joint Legislative Committee has informed Maricopa County investigators that the Auditor General will assist in the investigation. This comes after the Arizona Republic detail how state contractor Sunshine Residential Home bribed Katie Hobbs and Arizona Democrats with $400,000 and in return got millions more in state money. He writes, in my capacity as the chairman of the Joint Legislative Audit Committee, I want you to know that the Auditor General Office stands ready to partner with you in getting the facts about the troubling matter. Make no mistakes, we will allocate the resources the Auditor General needs to help restore what appears to be a major breach in trust in our government. Additionally, Arizona state lawmakers are now investigating Katie Hobbs after $339 million disappeared. As Hobbs budget director, Sarah Brown also mysteriously resigned after working with Hobbs for 6 years. State legislator Alan Colden, I think I'm saying his name right. I think it's wrong too. Imagine my shock when the legislative was informed that the state has several insolvent agencies and requires a $339 million bailout to close out the current fiscal year. Since liaison dedicated to briefing members of the legislature failed to provide details on how we got here, I am putting in a request in writing. Arizona deserves to know details. Why did you mislead legislator about the spending you intend to approve? In just 2 weeks' time, I've learned that the problem has worsened and that your office is now requesting $350 million. Now, let me tell you guys, there is no question a criminal enterprise is being run in the state of Arizona. Katie Hobbs, in my opinion, honestly, she
needs to be in jail. Remember they stole that election from, what was her name?
Tariffs, and it seems like
what was her name? The news lady, she was running.
They're moving along very rapidly. We've been mistreated very badly by many countries.
Tariffs are going forward on time. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years, and I'm not even blaming other countries that.
Not just Canada and Mexico. We've been taken advantage of. We were led by, in some cases, fools, because anybody that would sign documents like they signed, where they were able to take advantage of the American people, like has happened over the last long period of time, except for a little 4-year period that took place 4 years ago. But anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No, the tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen. I mean, you know, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything. Every aspect that you can imagine they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes. And We're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again.
I want to go into Fort Knox. Apparently one of many sea-based X-band radar being towed out into the ocean that allegedly detects ballistic missiles and the like. Entirely unrelated. No, have you ever researched HARP? You're gonna find out.
Hey there. Put your hands on the dash.
Yes, sir.
Don't want to reach around, you understand me?
Yes, sir, I understand.
471, I'll take another car, please. 62s. Keep your hands on the fucking dash. You reach down there again and I will shoot you, motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Keep it on the dash, bro. Keep them on the fucking dash. Make it 84. Don't reach for that fucking gun or I'll shoot you, you motherfucker. Hey, stay back. Don't reach for that fucking gun. Keep your hands on the motherfucking dash.
Pistol whipping through the window.
Keep your hands. Shots fired. Shots fired.
I got you.
Let's get the 62 and get him out.
Where's it at?
On him. It's right down there on his lap.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
Let's get him out. Get the gun.
Hold on. You slide over
Yep.
so we're not crossfire. Slide.
Hey, watch crowd. Get some more cars for crowd control.
Slide. I'm on him.
You hold him. I got 62.
He's a good boy. He don't do nothing wrong. Look at that.
There. Put your hands on the dash.
All you gotta do is put hands on the dash.
Don't want to reach around, you understand me?
Yes, sir, I understand.
471, I'll take another car. On the fucking dash. You reach down there again and I will shoot you, motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Keep it on the dash, bro. Keep them on the fucking dash. Make it 84. Don't reach for that fucking gun or I'll shoot you, you motherfucker. Stay back. Don't reach for that fucking gun. Keep your hands on the motherfucking dash. Keep your hands.
Yep, should've listened. Should've listened. He didn't want to go to jail.
Thank you for showing your true colors. You are a Jew hater, and you have a right to be a Jew hater. I agree with, because I'm a free speech absolutist.
Again, you know, I find it incredible that he's over here so critical of Kanye West, right? About, oh, he beats his wife, whatever. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a war criminal that's killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, bombed them indiscriminately, etc. I find it very interesting that you're so hardcore on Twitter about some tweets that may or may not have been a joke, more than likely a joke. Anyone that has common sense, sarcasm, dark humor, etc., versus you're running around with someone that's literally a war criminal wanted by the ICC that's killed tens of thousands of innocent children, right? And then you're over here calling for censorship. I'm tired of anti-Semitism. I'm tired of racism. People like you are the fucking problem, because here's the thing. Americans are tired of censorship. We're tired of being browbeat into being virtue-signaling losers like you, who always sit there and try to raise people and say, oh, you go ahead and you provoke problems with people. I've literally seen you do this. You go up to people, you provoke them, and they tell you fuck off, and then you get mad and you yell anti-Semitism. Quite literally, what I want to hear is this. Rabbi Shmuley, until you can actually call people liars for what they say, no one cares about anti-Semitism anymore. You guys run around, use it for everything. We're tired of it. Stop trying to browbeat us and virtue signal, saying, oh, that's anti-Semitic. How about this? When you can call someone a liar for what they're saying, then we'll start taking you more seriously. Other than that, you're a fucking dildo rabbi.
Dildo rabbi with his daughter. And he's got that pubic hair beard.
Exactly what we agreed. That is the most beautiful language. I have no idea what he's saying, but that is the most elegant, beautiful language. Go ahead, please. That was exactly what we agreed.
Guest star on Law & Order, Law & Order SVU,
and Law and Order Criminal Intent. Take a drink now. I'm looking at you, Zoe, and the whole cast of The Bear. Wasn't you the one that killed your mama in that one episode? Loved the performance.
Don't mind if I do. To the guest stars.
To the guest stars. All right, who's been a guest star on Law and Order SVU, and Law and Order Criminal Intent? Take a drink now.
You're gonna clearly see the ghost lifting the body. Oh hell. It's leaving the body. Oh hell no. Maybe just walk around the hospital. Nope.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in no hospital late at night or a mortuary.
How much it is?
It's $100, man.
All right.
Yeah, I don't take cash no more.
I know you take. Yeah. These things special. All right, my boy. I appreciate it. Hold on. Now, you ain't charge that much. Now, come on, man. I got kids to feed.
I need 3.
I got kids to feed, though. Hey, man, go ahead and cash these nippers in right there.
Hey, man, I ain't accepting no cash right now.
I know you accept the egg.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know you accept the egg. How many eggs for that?
3 eggs.
3 eggs. Ain't no 2. Come on.
Major incident gone unreported.
Her drink. She was in hospital for 4 hours. Where's his coat? Where's his coat? I'll show you the picture of him. Give me them. Thanks very much. Oh, don't forget to answer me. That fella that was here giving his daughter drink. She was in hospital.
Means for evil, God.
This will be exposed. Those individuals must be convicted of treason.
God can use for good. Just as Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, but ended up saving many lives, so too for this country here. What was done to President Trump, the lawfare against him, the lawfare against us, has been used for good. Every time they attacked him, he only got stronger. They tried to disqualify him from being able to run under the 14th Amendment. That's what this is all about. All this was like a massive conspiracy case with President Trump, a massive fake conspiracy case with President Trump as the designated kingpin, Ricky Tario and I as his designated lieutenants, and all of the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys as the spearhead of this so-called insurrection conspiracy. Complete false garbage. And all the other people in here as rank and file soldiers. All this complete nonsense. The false narrative was set very early. February 16, 2021, Benny Thompson, member of Congress, the guy who went on the chair of the J6 Select Committee, filed a lawsuit along with other members of Congress suing President Trump, Giuliani, Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, just weeks after the Capitol incident, alleging a conspiracy to disenfranchise black voters by challenging the election as unconstitutional and stolen, and also attacking democracy. That's where the narrative was set. Everything else was a dog and pony show trials, both in the J6 Select Committee, public show trial, and all of our trials were just manufactured show trials to make that true, to arrive at a destination they had already decided on long ago. They knew where they wanted to go. And all of our trials was a way to get there. So that's why they charged Oath Keepers and Proud Boys with the seditious conspiracy. The only people charged with that were us, members of our two groups, to make it look like, oh, these two dangerous groups, these violent groups. My organization is made up of military and police officers, firefighters, and EMTs. I was a paratrooper in the Army, disabled veteran. I was a firefighter. About 30% of our guys were law enforcement officers. Some of them were here on Capitol grounds that day helping police officers. But they were not allowed to show that to the jury. Mike Nichols, a New York City Oathkeeper cop, retired, was here. He was asked by Reid Johnson on that day. That's the black officer that wore a MAGA hat to get through the crowd. He was asked by Reid Johnson to help get Capitol police officers out of the Capitol. He went inside with him, escorted him out. We couldn't show that video. We couldn't have him testify at our trial because that went against the false narrative that all the Oath Keepers were there to cause violence. And they were the most violent organization. Nowhere in our history, we did thousands of security operations all over the country protecting free speech. A lot of times we partnered up with Proud Boys successfully, starting off in Berkeley, twice in downtown Berkeley. No one ever got hurt. None of the guys, none of the people we were protecting got hurt, and no one in the crowd got hurt, and not even Antifa got hurt, because we used our deterrence alone. There was not one time was any Oath Keeper punched, kicked, bludgeoned, pepper sprayed, or shot anyone in this country. They have to call us one of the most violent organizations. It's complete nonsense. These are honorable men who serve their country, many of them combat veterans, like my brothers here, and or retired police officers, very honorable people. But they wanted to demonize us, make it look like this is like you guys buy into it. Half the country, unfortunately, buys into the propaganda about our two groups. That was the whole point of our prosecutions. And that's why I had nothing but speeding tickets as my priors. That's quite a rap sheet, right? And yet I was held in solitary confinement from the day of my arrest, denied pretrial release, all through pretrial, over a year in solitary confinement. I know Joe Biggs did 2 years in solitary confinement. A lot of other guys here, a long time in solitary. Like Joe said, they're trying to break you, trying to coerce you into confessing to a crime you did not commit. I will never confess to a crime I did not commit. I will never bear false witness against anybody else. That's why I would not turn on President Trump. That's the ultimate goal they wanted. They told Enrique Tarrio, if you were to turn on President Trump, he could go home that day. None of us did that. We stood tall. That's why we're here to stand up for the rest of the guys, like Jeremy Brown and 6 others who are still being held. They got to be freed. Free Jeremy. Thank you very much. Free Jeremy. Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Proud Boys. I'm a Proud Boy. Them cars are so fucking ugly, man. Incident developing in Freedley. Felony stop a possible burglar suspect. One may have a gun. Yeah, we need some more cops up here.
Putin cannot just...
Lean Joyce says even though the Ukraine war will end, Canada will still need to provide military and financial aid for the next 5 years to help pay their bills.
I am a volunteer with Equality Kansas, but I'm here today on behalf of my family.
Like Martin.
I'm a mother of 4. I'm a Kansan, and 2 of my children are receiving gender-affirming care.
Oh, 2 of them.
Here, we'll do a little bit of arithmetic. So, a while back, Disney executive mentioned on video, she said, I have 2 children, 5 and 7. One is trans and the other is pansexual. And I just thought mathematically right away, it's like the chance you have a trans kid is 1 in 3,000. That's not a very high chance. And let's say the chance that you have a pansexual kid is the same, whatever pansexual means. But whatever that is rarer than trans, because no one ever even heard about it until 5 years ago. So the joint probability that you have a trans kid and a pansexual kid is 1 in 9 million. The odds that you're a pathological narcissist sacrificing your own children to the glorification of your compassion is 8,999,999 to 1. So like, do you have a trans kid and a pansexual kid, or are you a devouring mother? Well, you can look at the odds and decide for yourself.
That's what it is. What's the odds of that? I told that to the girls, man, my stepdaughters. What's the odds that y'all got that many transsexual people in your family?
Boom? No. Stuff it.
U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered the end of the American military presence in Alexandria, Greece, including the shutdown of a major base near the port of Alexandroupoli.
Media reporting that the U.S. has agreed to shut down a military base in Greece that's been a logistical hub for...
Who shut down?
That the U.S. has agreed to shut it down at the request of Turkey and Russia. Is that all true?
Marco, do you have anything to say about it? Please.
Sure, that's a no. That's a no, sir.
Mr. President. Is it a no?
It's a no, sir.
It's not a correct story. The least of it.
Return from your first day working in a hospital cafe?
Totally amazing day.
What did you have to do?
I was doing everything like stocking the place and then putting the trays. I was doing them one by one, putting them until probably one time after people left, and I was wiping the tables on every single one of them. I went to the kitchen and the ladies said to me, "Good boy," and basically they didn't help it. I did something.
You did it all by yourself. Good work there, buddy. Transportation Security Administration's CB1 pilot. TSA under Biden focused on speeding up checkpoints for illegal aliens without IDs, not national security.
You better never gonna sell black one to any that talk to them and they in love. Just make sure you have your little sister from them. They tell me Chubb the only one to get your hand-me-downs. Party at the party playing with his nose now. Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified.
Nancy Pelosi's vineyard received $14 million from USAID for experimental farming. Nancy Pelosi has no business collecting government funding for a personal venture. This is why the Democrats are scared. They know they're in hot water.
It will be Joy Reid's final show on MSNBC. Single tear, white woman tears happening right here, Joy. She was officially fired over the weekend because she's a racist, horrible news anchor with no ratings. And that's really been the truth for a long time. MSNBC's under new management, and I guess they decided to come to grips with reality. The truth is, this is very sad news for us, as she's provided so much material over the years. I feel the way I felt when Brian Stelter got fired, but he came back, and you never know. I'm sure Joy Reid will wind up doing something where we will continue to get to respond to her absolutely insane POV. The big news to...
The FBI whistleblower, the FBI is actively destroying evidence after cash Bongino takeover.
Right now, I mean, it's obviously you're going to have like an antibody reaction to somebody
Absolutely.
like Cash.
I'll give you a big one that I heard recently, which was already passed on, is that there are FBI servers that are sort of standalone, and people inside the FBI have been working night and day to destroy files on these servers. And I was told that once these files are destroyed, the way they are set up, that even Elon Musk could not restore them. So that's happening right now, as we speak. That's happening with Kash Patel being the director. It was happening before he got there. And so that subversion, like I said, started immediately. And it's only going to continue. These people, and here's another example, I was told. Last week, right out of the gates, Kash Patel came out and said 1,500 people, 500, you're going to Alabama. You're still going to be headquarters personnel, you're going to Alabama. 1,000 of you, you're going out to the field. He said this long before the election even, that he said if he was in charge, he would say, let cops be cops, and so go out and be cops. Already, people are saying, we are not going to comply with that. We are going to make it seem as if we transferred. We're going to do what they call, quote unquote, paper transfers, and we're not going to obey these lawful orders. I don't know if you heard Stephen Miller in the last few days. He came out and has given a great civics lesson on Article 2 of the Constitution. The FBI falls under the executive branch, and you have these career bureaucrats who say, no, we answer to no one. Well, hopefully that's going to change, and I think under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino leadership, I think it will. But they've got to root out this subversion first.
Somebody who works inside of the West Wing came up to us in a private setting when we were in D.C. and said, you would not believe the number of times that my office has to be swept for bugs.
That's crazy.
Inside the White House has to be swept by agencies to figure out if there's electronic monitoring that's happening to us on a daily basis. It's crazy. Any idea what's on the servers that's so damning that it has to be siloed into such a secure facility with the lack of redundancy or capacity for anybody to go through and sort of from digital forensics, right? You can uncover most data that's deleted, you can uncover it in some capacity. So somebody's worked very hard to make sure that this data that you're talking about can be deleted and destroyed forever. Any idea what it is?
No idea on what it is. I can only speculate, but you mentioned the Epstein list. I'd imagine it's cases like that. It's intel cases that are very siloed, very secretive, and I'm sure there's probably even information regarding the FBI's own subversive measures against Americans, against American politicians, for instance. We learned over the last few days that the Oval Office was bugged, and they took out the Resolute desk to inspect it more. Who's doing that type of thing, Benny? It's going to be, if they're operating at all as they should be, it's going to be the FBI, because they're the domestic agency. Now, is it beyond the CIA or NSA playing a role? No, not at all, because I think all of these agencies at this point do not have the best interest of the American public in mind. That's something that the Trump administration is trying to change, but it's going to be an uphill battle, I believe, for the entire term.
Hey, remember when I told you guys Lily is a Jew? I don't know who Lily is. Tells us about Donald Trump and not owning a dog, but says the Democrats are what? His bitch?
Any other person, that would be a red flag for me, but instead he decided to make the Democratic Party his bitch.
No, man, that's not me. What you mean? You steady saying that's me. That's not me. It's not. What you mean? I don't know where you get that from. That's not me. And you looking at it, you. That's not you right here? That's not me. It's not me. It's just a man that just the same exact clothes as you. It's a question, because it's not me. It's not me. What'd you put it on? I ain't putting it on nothing. I'm just saying it's not me. So who that is then? I ain't got no idea. That's not me. Who's that then? So who's that? I don't know, but it's not me. I ain't do it. I ain't.
Take his pocket.
To companies, relative to companies that have been around for 5 or 10 or 20 years. We're catching up fast. I think with the velocity of improvement of XAI is faster than any other company out there. We're just able to install and bring online a massive new training center that we're, as I mentioned, we're building in Memphis. And it's from getting hardware installation to it beginning training was only 19 days. And that's the fastest by far that anyone's been able to do that. So we're moving quickly, but we're still catching up. And so if you use...
Catching up to who?
Well, catching up to, say, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and the others.
And this new system, how powerful is it compared, let's say, to ChatGPT?
What we're doing in the Memphis data center is we're actually training Grok 3. So that'll probably finish training in about 3 or 4 months, and then there'll be some fine-tuning and bug fixing and whatnot. And we're hoping to release Grok 3 by December. And Grok 3 should be the most powerful AI in the world at that point.
About both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears.
Ooh, male white tears.
Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like green waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears.
I slapped the wrong sister. The destination is correct. The address is wrong.
Run. Run.
Studies. And last week, you spoke at a press conference that HHS should do another study on the link between vaccines and autism. But there have been a number of studies investigating that link. There was a 1991 one by Brent Taylor, another on children in Denmark in the 90s by Dr. Christine Madsen, and dozens of others that have disproven that link. What would this study that you're proposing do differently then?
Oh, well, first of all those people set out to disprove the link, and that's my point. What happens if you try to prove the link? That's how real science is done. If the entire statement is that vaccines don't cause autism, finding scientists that set out to prove that vaccines don't cause autism, that's not how you do that study. Get scientists say, I think I can prove vaccines do cause autism. And if they can't pull that off, now you have a true safety profile. So we've been, doing science the wrong way. I think very simply, you could start with a study of the VSD, the Vaccine Safety Data Link. 10 million people are on it. The Institute of Medicine studied that Vaccine Safety Data Link and said, you have tens of thousands of unvaccinated individuals that are in this database. You can do a well-powered comparative study looking at vaccinated versus unvaccinated. That study has never been done. That is an absolute shock. At least they tell us it's never been done. Why aren't you comparing the vaccinated to the unvaccinated and asking simple questions? Who has more cancer? Who has more diabetes? Who has more autism? Who has more ADD, ADHD? Who has more lupus? Who has more childhood cancer? These things are all skyrocketing as we watch the vaccine program growing, and you're pointing out a handful of studies that are mostly funded by the pharmaceutical industry that has an agenda to say this isn't a link. So yes, show me a comparative study of the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated that shows that the vaccinated have lower rates of autism, that they have lower rates of cancer, that they have lower rates of diabetes. If you show us that study, then I think we'll have to take a serious look at that and say, then what else is it? What other environmental toxin is it? And then we go into not just the vaccine studies. How do we know it's not vaccines with certain foods?
I want to make sure we have time.
Yeah.
I mean, the studies I did mention do look at unvaccinated and vaccinated populations.
No, they don't. No, they really move around. You know what they look at? They look at all the kids that got every vaccine except the MMR vaccine, and then every vaccine plus the MMR vaccine. That's how most of the studies are done. I would call them Jack Daniels studies. I could do a study where you do 10 shots of vodka, and then the other control group gets 10 shots of vodka plus a Jack Daniels, and they say, drive a car, and they say, look, there was just as many car accidents in both groups, therefore Jack Daniels does not cause inebriation. That is how they're doing these studies.
But then
Zelensky. We want that money, Zelensky.
NATO says you're good for it. Where's the money, Zelensky?
Zelensky was hesitant about the deal, but Trump sent him a message after which he is no longer hesitant.
Where's the money, Zelensky? Where's the fucking money, shithead?
Sure, you have a Shark Tank idea?
Yeah, I'm trying to get
ready, Shark Tank judges
up in front of those ghouls at Shark Tank. Everyone but Mr. Cuban, you're cool, man. And Lori, she's cool. Lori's cool. Lori's beautiful. And the real estate one, I forgot her name. She's cool. What's that? Barbara. Thank you very much. And please eject the people that spoke. And Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
He's scary, but I'll tell you, I love his music.
Okay. So I feel like I asked what your idea was, and then you've just sort of explained who is on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, people aren't familiar with Shark Tank. So basically the idea, it's kind of an app that I'm working on. It's kind of like a public-private type situation, like a government and corporate app. What it is it's called Lunch Save. And it is and if there's any investors watching, please, my Venmo at the bottom, we can put up there.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to.
Mr. Rules over here. Okay. So basically what it is, what I was even going to be even saying is that they are doing all these different types of things. And now we have this app. It's called Lunch Save. And what it is when a student calls in sick to an elementary school, the Lunch Save uses GPS and 5G, all the data that's being pulled from our phones 24/7, microphones and stuff like that. It takes that data and it creates a 3-mile radius within that, or 3-block radius within that school. And it pinpoints within that radius men in their 30s who are unemployed. And it gives them a notification that they can go into that school and eat that child's lunch. And we are getting a lot of pushback from parental groups.
Yeah. Parental groups are against it.
Yeah. But they were against, rock and roll music.
Majors while in Columbia at a fitness expo accepts a pull-up challenge from Fitness and Flora and outperforms it.
Yes, you see, nobody, none of these other guys.
PowerPoint explaining why he's such a good kisser, so Christian Bale showed her on to prove that it's all because of her.
To kiss you like that, it's the hands. They're my signature move.
Okay.
Okay? So let them all know.
Okay.
Let them all know.
I will.
You can keep that.
Okay.
And hey,
thank you.
I'll see you at work, co-star.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Guess it's my signature move.
It's the kiss. You see, nobody, none of these other guys have kissed.
Don't ask any favor. Just treat us as others because we are not wrongful in anything happening around.
Yo, they fear you. They fear us. We have so much power. They fear you. They fear me. They fear these boycotts. The Starbucks CEO yesterday, a video, I seen it. He said that that they're losing money because of the boycotts.
The boycott and that whole information cycle, it's really unfortunate because obviously it hurts the brand, it hurts our partners in the stores.
And they don't even know where the boycotts are coming from. But guess what? It's because of union busting. The Palestinian movement is intersectional. And yeah, we're boycotting you because of the union busting and because you want to sue your union as well for expressing support for Palestine. So, there's that.
Just don't boycott.
Real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Repeat after me.
I'm not going to touch my fucking toes and tell you what the fuck I want to do.
You in the
Are you gonna fucking tell me what to do?
You in the CIA? No, I was gonna tell you to say some shit.
You want me to touch my fucking toes and
Bro,
say
you want
what?
me to do it?
You fuck you guys. Let's
What?
go in the alley here.
Go in the alley? What the?
Record this shit. Come here, record this shit.
Fuck? Hell no.
Record this. You guys think you're funny?
I'm recording it.
Come here.
Nah, why you want us to come in the alley?
Nigga, why you want us to come to the alley, bro?
You guys think you're fucking funny?
Hell no, I'm not coming. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Seriously? Hurry up. Hey, you want to do a challenge real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Repeat after me. R.
I'm not gonna touch my fucking toes and tell you what the fuck I want to do. You in the CIA? You fucking tell me what to do? You in the CIA?
No, I was going to tell you to say some shit.
You want me to touch my...
I said, I get it, but I don't get it. The children. You got to, I have such a problem with this. You got to explain this one to me. And he said, well, first of all, you're looking at it the wrong way. I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, they don't define children the way you do. They don't define the world the way you do. The choices that you face are not their choices, right? They look at it completely differently. And I said, well, okay, so how do they look at it? And he said, for them, everything is defined by their one fundamental, all-consuming purpose. I said, which is what? He said, to defeat God, right? Yep. Because this is the moment. I mean, for them, it's about the real God. The true gods are them and Satan, there, right? And so he said, children are the closest thing on earth to God, because we are created in the image of God. And as you know, from the moment we're created, we haven't had time to be corrupted and to stray. So for them, the younger you are, the closer you are to God, the more pain they can inflict on God. So the more you can make a baby or a small child suffer, the greater your victory over God. And that is the only consideration for them. Outside of that doesn't exist.
These people are evil. Mothers of 2+ kids will have a lifelong exemption from giving income taxes. Oh, I'll be dropping off babies over there. They're whooping that ass. Oh, I'm running around in that circle. I'm still, man. What's wrong with you still? Your turn. But you don't listen. Yep, I've run in that circle before.
Long years, you had a president who put illegal aliens up in penthouse suites in beautiful hotels on Park Avenue, on Madison Avenue, or on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. Now you have a president who is stamping their ticket to Gitmo on a one-way trip back to the places from which they came. Wonderful places. Big difference. 4 long years, you had a president.
Let's get this train of higher on X. Everyone comment, arrest Adam Schiff. Arrest Adam Schiff. How about this one right here? Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Some crazy fuck. This lady was sitting peacefully at a town hall, and after she spoke out, these goons with no badges forcibly removed her. This is not America that we once knew. Buckle up.
And we're just taking care of the ground. And eventually what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down, and we'll get back to here for the legislators. Because really, you didn't come here to listen to me. I just happen to have a nice loud voice and a big microphone. And I can talk over all of you. And I can just talk for on and on and on. And look at this little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. Isn't that the problem that we're struggling with so many of the kids today? Is they want to behave poorly and then not struggle with the consequences. That is shameful. I think what we've got right now is a situation where these folks are trying to filibuster and shut this whole program down. Unfortunately, they're being successful. So all of you who came here to hear the legislators, I applaud you for sitting there and quietly listening. I promise we will get back to you. In the meantime, we've just got to be a little aggressive with some of these folks here. Look here. Oh, no, I should be removed. I should be allowed to cry and yell and scream. I should be able to allow to interrupt.
Let's go. Don't touch her. This isn't the sheriff. Excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me. You out now. This man is assaulting me. Now. Let's go. This man is assaulting me. Is this your deputy? Is this your deputy? No, don't fucking touch us. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
So how about that?
You should have some kind of identification on it.
Hey.
It's too bad that we have some 150-year-old Social Security recipients. We know that government has been mismanaging money for decades. And we want to get up there
Just cooperate, it'll be 100 times better. Yeah, that's what they say to rape victims, you fucking piece of shit. You refuse to identify yourself. Who are you? Who are you?
To come here today, and I applaud them for doing so. Thank you for coming. But the problem is this. They didn't come here to listen. They came here to interrupt.
They didn't have no badges on. I'd have a problem with that. You ain't got a badge on. You can't be touching on me like that.
Also be that from the moment we are born, and perhaps even before that, when families gather to reveal the sex organs of their child, that the drag show begins.
This color-y bad-looking motherfucker is Reverend Brooke Dooley. Brooke's drag name is Brock Bottom, and she's giving a sermon at the Cathedral of Hope in Dallas. And I know this will come as a shock, but she's the associate youth pastor at Friends Congregational Church in College Station, Texas. She's also the youth director for the United Church of Christ.
Come, Holy Spirit, into the hearts of all of your beloved children.
Yes, this Freddie Mercury with a pussy-looking motherfucker is a youth pastor. I did some digging, and on the Cathedral of Hope website, it says,
Drag is like any other performance and visual art form. The audience for drag can be comprised of children and families. We want our children to be safe and supported. Drag, as seen in the forms of library story hours, theater, music, and even church worship services, does just that.
Does it? This deep-seated obsession with children should alarm even the stupidest of motherfuckers. It's always children, children, children. They want to read sexual identity propaganda to our children in the name of Drag Time Story Hour. What the fuck am I even looking at? Why can't they read books to elderly, lonely people at retirement homes? I'll tell you why. Because elderly people are wise and based. Children, on the other hand, are impressionable and malleable. Let's just say there's not a huge market for elderly porn. If you catch my drift. Here's a wild idea.
Frank likes elderly porn.
How about we let kids be kids?
Yeah, it's like Jesus should come in with the whip their asses. Turning over the tables in the temple.
Order
Lived in tears following a recent executive order from President Trump
to help insurance companies pay for IVF.
in vitro fertilization.
The 25 field offices of Immigration and Customs Enforcement must make 75 arrests daily. And if they don't, those officers risk being terminated from their job.
Good.
So they are very much wanting to keep
She
their
looks
job.
like a man.
And they are going after the 3 categories of people that they're looking for first. People that have serious criminal records that are in the United States, people that have final removal orders that have not left the United States, and people that have removal orders have left and re-entered the United States without permission. Remember this, because they are going to be so geared to make arrests, that you have to understand that you have rights to remain silent. You should have downloaded a Know Your Rights card at this point, and if you are encountered by immigration, you have a right to remain silent. Yes, you can give your name, but after that, it's silencio. Like and follow. I'm Gloria Cardenas,
Sounds
the
like she's helping
immigration
illegals.
queen.
Chapman. Sound like she's helping illegals.
Black for that. They don't give a shit, you know. But how many fucking Holocaust museums do they have? You know, they march every FBI member into the fucking Holocaust Museum. They make every single one of them go to the Holocaust Museum.
Really?
They don't have to go to the Armenian Holocaust Museum. They don't have to go to the fucking Holodomor Holocaust Museum. They don't have to go to the fucking Bolshevik Holocaust Museum. Only the Jews. They literally hijacked the entire narrative of World War II and made it all about them.
Right.
You never learn about it in school either. It's always just the Jews.
It's only the Jews. And the crazy thing is the Jews killed like 10x of their purported number before that.
Right.
Like they literally killed 30 to 60 million Christians. Like it was like 84% Jewish Bolsheviks killed 30 to 60 million Christians. Like murdered them. Like Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote a whole fucking book on this. Like it's documented. It's not like this is not a conspiracy theory. So, you know, but nobody mentions it. Not even a fucking mouse fart in your textbooks.
Right.
But the Jews.
All they talk about is Hitler.
Poor Jews. Yeah, and then Hitler. You know, and so, I don't know.
Man, it's crazy, man, because I hear all these things, and then when I heard that transcribed speech in English, I was like, man, that whole story about him being I don't know, it just made me question everything I learned about World War II and Hitler. Things are not adding up.
Yeah, I mean, he had a whole policy where if you had, you know, one child that, you know, he would pay for 25% of your house, or if you had multiple child, I mean, he had a whole thing where, like, he was trying to, like, encourage community, encourage, you know, family values, remove the perversion. You know, he wanted to instill morals. I mean, was he a good guy or not? I don't fucking know. I wasn't there. But I was told that he is the worst guy in the fucking history of the world. And that's for sure not true.
We're talking about World War II, right?
Yeah.
That's the same war where we dropped those hydrogen or nuclear bombs on.
Yeah, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which is almost all predominantly females and children. We just mass murdered females and children because all the military-age men were out, you know, fighting the war. They were not in Nagasaki.
Their families.
Yeah, we bombed the women and children. That's literally what we did. We targeted women and children. You know, a Jewish-made, Jewish-invented atomic bomb.
That was Jewish?
Yeah, the Jews invented the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to go see that movie. What's his name? Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
That's Jewish?
Yeah, he's all fucking Jews.
I thought the Jewish names like Baum and Rosenberg. Oppenheimer too? Oh, Heimer. Fucking my black slow mind is catching on. That was fucking... That is nuts.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I know.
Ashkenazi? Yeah, he would know.
Look, I mean, here's the thing. You can just close your eyes and hear about a shitty event, blame news, and be right like 90% of the time. And when you're less than 1/5% of the world, and that's the case, there's a fucking problem there.
Wow. So everything, I mean, people say they call us crazy Nazis, but you can trace everything that's negative, all the pain and suffering people are feeling in the past and in the present. Majority of the reasons because of some person is probably behind it.
I mean, according to everything that I keep finding, that's what I keep seeing. It seems insane. It seems like a crazy thing to say.
It makes you feel like you're crazy, right?
It seems like a crazy conspiracy. It's like it's almost like it's hard even to say something like that.
Yeah,
but
it's like unbelievable.
Over and over and over again, you keep finding this to be the case. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
And we are going to bring in something called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. So if someone is civilly committed typically you can hold them for up to 72 hours, but people are getting out within 24 hours, the majority of them. So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
They're
No.
a danger to themselves.
Which you can't
or
do
others.
right now.
No.
Well, because without being adjudicated. So
Nope.
because they're a danger to themselves.
You want them to take the guns and
when they are
not
committed.
go through 6 months of legal trials and everything else.
Exactly, but we also have to give the mentally ill the due process in which they deserve, President. So what we're doing is they're going to be able to take the guns when they're taken into custody or into the hospital, and then when they're released within 24 hours or 72 hours later, typically it's 24 hours, but law enforcement will have 72 hours to determine whether they should give those guns back or they can go to a judge and say, Your Honor, please keep these guns.
Nope.
We feel this person is still a danger to himself or others, whether
So
they're
this
in or
would
out
not
of
have
custody.
worked the way it's currently constituted. This would not have worked with Cruz as it's currently constituted.
As it's currently written.
So you're going to make changes?
We're going to make changes.
No, fuck that.
This isn't me trying to throw shade. These are just the facts. When you look at who's voting for who, the less educated folk, and when I say educated, I'm not even talking about formal education.
Shut up, you black whore.
Is a ghost town. No one's watching these shows because they're all just lying. They're still lying. They're lying constantly. And now, now they're lying about the Department of Government Efficiency, when before they were lying about pandemics and vaccines. It's not really the news. If it was the news, they wouldn't be paid for by the pharmaceutical drug companies. You can't have the fucking news sponsored by the people that you're supposed to be reporting on, and then you never report on them. That's just crazy.
But you're saying that pharma buys TV spots not to convince people to ask for specific drugs from their physicians, but to subvert the news business?
This is an open secret working for pharma.
Well, I never even thought of that.
This is an open secret. The kind of silly ads you see between the news breaks, the points of that is not, it's marginally to impact the customer, but the pharma's already got that. They've already bought off the doctors. They're good on that. No, this is an open secret. The news ad spending from pharma is a public relation lobbying tactic, essentially, to buy off the news. The news is they're not investigating pharma.
I've noticed.
The news has become basically a referee that you are a terrible anti-science Luddite for asking why, the shots that we require our kids to get that fundamentally by their own advertising change the immune system of that child for life, why it's gone from 20 to 70. To even ask that question, the news referees that and calls you anti-science when the two largest vaccine makers in the country are literally criminal enterprises. GlaxoSmithKline and Merck, in the past 5 years, has settled two of the largest criminal penalties in American corporate history for bribing doctors and creating misleading research, who are the two largest vaccine makers. So you literally have the media playing referee that you can't even ask a question. Parent is actually...
If you have a vaccine injury, and many people have, including some I know very well, even a profound vaccine injury, you're not allowed to complain about it.
No, you're anti-science.
Even if it can be shown to us that this is a vaccine injury.
The media plays referee because they're funded. But so in all levels, right? Wow. On all levels. And I'm
very
not
dark, Callie means.
Well, I think it's hopefully empowering. I think this is why we have an opportunity here, Tucker. Like Ozempic, this is not some new, it's kind of this funny thing, it's kind of vain, I can lose weight. This is the reason the stocks are going up is because this is going to be a lot of government money. This is going to be the highest funded drug from the U.S. taxpayer in history. We've got a society, when are we going to say, let's go another direction? Why are we trusting pharma now when they've been completely acting to garner no trust?
Two sheets guns. Bullshit, you can't be taking nobody's guns. That's bullshit.
mean?
Don't be
Okay,
doing
let me get a
that
hug.
shit. Okay.
Get some fine shit. First day? Huh? Yeah, it's my first day. Yeah, it's my first day. Good job. Huh? How you cook? Are you gonna teach me? Huh? It's my first day. My name Anthony Ellers.
Lock his ass up.
Wake up in the morning, I look good, feel good.
Damn, that thing got me heavy. Modular fabric has embedded sensors that respond to movement.
That is wild. I mean, come on, that's crazy.
What is happening right now?
My team and I designed every aspect of this dress, and I personally stitched it together. Yeah. Project Primrose is a canvas for creativity, and the possibilities are endless. Fashion doesn't have to be.
条鲜活小鱼的尾巴当场剪掉，紧接着又用一枚锋利的鱼钩直接刺穿了它的脊背。任凭吃了痛的小鱼如何挣扎，男人也不管不顾，毫不犹豫的就将其抛入了大海之中。这里是位于太平洋中央的一处石油钻井平台，由于平台上的工人平时会把吃不完的剩饭丢进大海之中，因此这片海域经常会聚集一大群等待觅食的鱼儿。库里拉为了在这里钓到一条大鱼，甚至直接用上了垫脚轮。果然，几分钟不到的功夫，鱼竿就被一股强大的力量拉成了弓形。与此同时，垫脚轮也开始飞速转动起来。使用这种线轮的好处在于可以不费吹灰之力就将大鱼拉着上来，但同时也失去了钓鱼时和巨物。
Good afternoon from the southeast there. You missed it earlier. They were talking about putting marbles in cat buttholes.
搏斗的乐趣。此时库里拉只需要站在甲板上静静地看着垫脚轮，转眼间的功夫，400多英尺长的鱼线就被
You're late. You missed a good stories there, Fox.
线轮成功收了回来。此时可以看到不远处的海面上有一条大鱼翻滚着被拉了回来，目测这是一条重达20斤以上的石斑鱼。由于压强的原因，这条鱼已经将肚中的红色鱼鳔吐了出来，基本上已经到达了奄奄一息的地步。毫无疑问，这条鱼绝对能让库里拉小赚一笔。眼前这个男人使用剪刀将一条鲜活小鱼的尾巴当场剪掉，紧接着又用一枚锋利的鱼钩直接刺穿了他的脊背。
I don't even know what they're saying. Protest out Albania Avenue tomorrow.
I will never give any advice to President Trump. We have friendly and trustful discussion, but my experience with President Putin is the following. Number one, I always think it's good to have discussion with other leaders, and especially when you disagree. I stopped my discussion with President Putin after Bucha and the war crimes because I considered that, we had nothing to get from him in that time. Now that there's a chance, there is a big change because there is a new U.S. administration. So this is a new context. So there is good reason for President Trump to re-engage with President Putin.
I got numerous death threats. They've doubled the size of my security detail because all the cartels want to take Homa now. Well, I'll tell you what, come get some. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. You are now a terrorist organization. So word out to anybody that assists them, anybody that sells their drugs on the street, anybody that assists these cartels in any way, you are helping a terrorist organization, and the weight of the world's coming down on you.
It's fantastic. You can brush my head and miss me everywhere.
to try to find out what people do. But I would propose action if we could look at the second.
Chapman.
Clip. This is from Elon himself. I think this was.
Portion of American citizens today have this question, both on Trump's side and on the left, and everyone in the middle is noticing very rightly that Trump and Tulsi and Cash and Pam Bondi, RFK, Marco Rubio, this entire administration, this entire cabinet, they've got great takes on America, in my opinion. Great takes on the FBI, great takes on the CIA, great takes on the deep state, great takes on taking down the corporate banker pharma control of our country. But every single one of them is a Zionist and extremely pro-Israel and pretends like Israel is our greatest ally, despite the clear evidence against that.
Not, yeah.
Sure, maybe some Israelis are on our side. I'm sure there's lots of Israelis that are on our side, that are good people, maybe. There's certainly a lot of Jewish people around the world that are great people. But all of these people are very vocal about cutting funding to Ukraine. That's great. But then they try to deflect and stay silent and just do a little dance every time we notice that we're spending more money on Israel than on Ukraine over the years. None of them are talking about cutting funding to Israel that is actively blackmailing the entire U.S. government, has a secret nuclear program, is committing a genocide. At the very least, it's an apartheid state. Their national economy is deeply intertwined in the diamond industry and all sorts of illegal international trade and human rights abuses around that in Africa. We have anti-Semitic speech laws in America when we can criticize our own government and our own president, but we can't criticize Israel. We can't even talk about it, or else we'll get kicked off the internet, kicked out of the government. And I hold out at least a sliver of hope for most of these guys, that they do understand what's going on and they understand the gravity of Israel's control, and that they are just tiptoeing and playing it careful and trying to get the job done here without starting a firestorm that's going to prevent them from doing that. But it's not looking super great. And just like, forget about all the other conspiracy theories about Israel. Forget about the Rothschild. Forget about the Federal Reserve. Forget about the fact they own the media. Forget about the fact that they founded Hollywood. Forget about all that. Whether you think it's true or not, it does not matter. Just Epstein alone, just Epstein, blows this whole thing wide open.
Obviously can have disastrous effects on humans. That
which is air quality. Obviously have disastrous effects on humans. That's been documented.
It's sort of been documented. The what amazes me is that the argument that
in the spirit, I don't know if it's spiritual or physical, but I see that Manhattan Bridge may not be there any longer. I see bombs coming. I see destruction all around. I see things being emptied out. I see desolation. I see destruction of buildings, bridges, Times Square. I tell you, make things right with Jesus Christ today. He's the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. He came and he died on a cross for your sins and mine and rose again in 3 days. He is alive. He's the one true God. But the wages of our sin is death, hell, forever. What are sins? Lying, cheating, murder, abortion, homosexuality, sex before marriage.
A lot of the stuff that the Democrats stand for.
Marriage, drunkenness. These very sins will separate you from a holy God forever and ever. There will be consequence on the earth for the sin that you live in. But there is hope in Jesus, because Jesus came to rescue you from that sin. He came to conquer hell, death, and the grave. He came so you and I would be forgiven.
Amen.
God give us some financial support. Okay, please, give us a credit, and we will give you back money. А знаю, що у нас було 100. І це факт. Я не збираюсь визнавати 500. Хто б що не говорив, як би ми не спілкувались. При всій повазі, ще раз, при всій повазі до партнерів, але, я стійко стою, тому що це правдива ситуація. Абсолютно ми праві. І друга ситуація, якщо чесно, навіть 100 мільярдів я не готовий фіксувати. Поясню чому. Тому що і ми не маємо визнавати гранти як борги. Подобається це чи не подобається? Я домовлявся з Байденом і домовлявся з Конгресом Сполучених Штатів Америки. Я вдячен Конгресу. Це була присутність двох партій і підтримка.
Have fun calling me DB.
All right, some of these guys think are deep.
Sneak over there, Martin Luther King Jr. saying Israel must exist and has the right to exist.
Yeah, this nigga's an op, bro. I told you, man. It's straight up gooner. He looks like the guy who was in the Goon Mobile, too, doesn't he? What a flop. This guy's a bigger psyop than George Floyd. Malcolm X was the only base one. This guy was a CIA op who they assassinated when he started going to too many gay orgies.
And is one of the great outposts of democracy in the world.
My Jewish brothers and sisters said to me,
and I speak like this so people think I'm a brown, my Barbadoo. Hallelujah, free land, chicken wing.
Anti-Semitism anywhere.
Well,
we don't need your support. We have enough Jewish power to deal with this problem ourselves. I would still take a stand against anti-Semitism because it's wrong, it's unjust, and it's evil.
Israel must exist and has a right to exist.
Yeah, this nigga's an op, bro. I told you, man. It's straight up gooner. He looks like the guy who was in the Goon Mobile, too, doesn't he? What a flop. This guy's a bigger psyop than George Floyd. Malcolm X was the only base one. This guy was a CIA op who they assassinated when he started going to too many gay orgies.
And is one of the great outposts of democracy in the world.
My Jewish brothers and sisters said to me,
and I speak like this so people think I'm a brown, my Barbadoo. Hallelujah, free land, chicken wing.
Anti-Semitism anywhere.
Well,
we don't need your support. We have enough Jewish power to deal with this problem ourselves.
War started.
He was a gay guy.
Putin's intention in the war. I can tell you what his intention was. It was...
Putin didn't start this shit. They kept moving NATO closer to him. We were told to believe a plan at Pentagon on 9/11, then why not release all the tapes?
A lot of cameras around the Pentagon. If you look at the Pentagon, you can see that there's cameras on each corner. There's cameras at some of the businesses around the Pentagon.
Leftover roast. I think I'm gonna go down to. I want a Tunyon from Longhorn, but then I was thinking about calamari from and I don't know if Red Lobster sells calamari anymore.
You know, in those cases, the tapes were confiscated immediately by the FBI within hours of the event.
When a Freedom of Information Act requesting all the videos...
You know, there wasn't no damn plane hit. That was a damn, it was a missile. Because that guy's got Down syndrome.
Is calling for the CIA director to resign after the agency admitted today to spying not on a foreign government but on our own Congress, improperly finding their way into U.S. Senate computers during an investigation into the CIA.
Leftover who roast? What was that kind of roast they had in the Whoville? When the Grinch stole Christmas, they had who roast or something.
CIA's interrogation techniques after 9/11. We get details tonight.
Good. I think that's some mashed potatoes.
NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
For months, the CIA has denied spying on the Senate, hacking into computers, spying on Senate investigators looking into alleged CIA torture of prisoners after 9/11. The CIA director was emphatic in March.
The CIA
He's a
went
Muslim.
into their computers and took documents out and were attempting to block their own investigation.
The facts will come out, but let me assure you that CIA in no way was spying on the SSCI or the Senate.
At issue a suspected CIA cover-up of waterboarding and other harsh interrogation techniques during the Bush years. The Senate Intelligence Chair demanded answers.
I have grave concerns that the CIA's search may well have violated the separation of powers principles.
Shouldn't have no women in Congress.
Embodied in the United States Constitution.
Today, the CIA's own watchdog, the Inspector General, said Brennan was wrong. 5 agency employees, including 2 attorneys, improperly accessed the computers, launching a keyword search of all and a review of some of the emails of Democratic staff members.
Who authorized the search? We need to know why they thought it was legal, and we need to know how that person is going to be held accountable.
Other senators are demanding that the CIA director, John Brennan, one of the president's closest advisors, be fired. This is that 5-year-long torture investigation is about to be released any day now. Brian?
Andrea Mitchell in our D.C. newsroom tonight. Andrea, thanks.
It's not about justice. It's not about agenda. It's not about...
The Senate voted on a budget.
38 rhino traders defied Trump and passed a weak budget. Not as America First agenda. We don't care if the government shuts down. Hold the line.
And Senator Rand Paul introduced an amendment to cut that budget by $1.5 trillion, which is approximately the amount of waste, fraud, and corruption that DOJ has uncovered thus far. Of course, every Democrat senator voted against it because they're rotten to the core. However, they would not have succeeded without the 29 Republican senators that joined them. Only 24 of Republican senators voted for it. Here's a list of the 29 Republicans that betrayed you and DOJ to continue the
Chapman.
fraud, waste, and corruption.
Hello. Hey, April here. How's your day going? Pretty good, April.
Corruption. You might want to take a screenshot.
It's just big time here today, and I'm here in America, and I've been announced as the new governor of Canada. I'm working direct.
Hard-boiled eggs from Walmart was shocked by what she discovered inside one of the yolks.
The yolk is this capsule,
I've never seen anything like that.
and we just broke it open.
There's like white powder.
There's white powder in it.
Cocaine, probably. Cocaine in the eggs.
In what brand are these eggs?
Great Day Farms.
Great Day Farms hard-boiled eggs. I would like to know why there's capsules with powder inside your egg yolks.
Probably shouldn't be touching that with bare fingers.
Be careful when you get your Walmart hard-boiled eggs.
I don't get hard-boiled eggs from Walmart. I got chickens at the house.
Right person in the right place.
FBI director goes rogue 6 hours into his tenure. FBI Director Kash Patel deployed SWAT teams to raid the homes of 3 Pentagon officials. Named in his explosive Deep State Eradication Protocol surveillance footage, captures a 4-star general shredding documents at 2:17 a.m. before attempting to flee via private jet to
Chapman.
Dubai. This isn't cleanup, it's regime change.
Yes. Okay, what's going on, David?
Hey man, I saw your offer here for this job in what was it, Valley? Yeah, from Valley. And I want to quickly touch base with you. So showing ETA about 90 minutes, is that about right?
Yep. What? Remind me of which one that was. What? That was a regen.
This is the one with the transmission fluid leaking.
Oh, with that transmission line, yeah.
Yeah, on the freight line at the box truck. But yeah, so this price you're quoting, is this to just get you out there and diagnose? What does this include?
Yeah, what I put on that one? 150?
Yeah, 150 call out.
Yeah, that's just a call out to go out there and look at it.
Okay, and what's your hourly rate?
We charge $175 an hour.
175 an hour, and then parts would be additional too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Let me run this by him and see if he's good with it, and then I'll get back to you.
Does he know which line it is? Is it the one running to the from the transmission to the radiator?
Yeah, that's the one he thinks it is. Yeah.
Well, there should be 2 lines running there. He'd have to.
So the guy I talked to is the manager, and so he might not know everything. Either way, I'll probably you'll get the number for the driver before we go out. So it'd be good for you to touch base on those details.
Yeah, because I'd like to, because we're gonna have to get the part. I'd like to get it up here instead of having to run out there and then come back and get it. But yeah, we're 175 an hour, then 150 on the call out, and then plus parts.
Okay, plus parts. Got it. Okay, let me throw this at them, and then I'll get back to you. Thanks, man.
Let me know. All right, bye. Chapman's.
Hi. Hello, this is Isabella with.
Isabella, how you doing? Isabella. What they got going on there? What kind of freaky shit is this? I can't be bending over like that to kiss no yeah, you gotta start at the backside.
Firings
kissing no midget like that.
Maine, Senator, how would you characterize the impact on the firings?
I'm very concerned about the impact on the state of Maine on everything from our national parks to biomedical research. So this is a big problem.
The impact of the federal firings had on Maine, Senator, how would you characterize them?
You could fire 90% of the government, wouldn't shit happen. That's the way I've done it.
El amor no fue para mí. Anoche me preguntaron qué pasó con tu cariño.
They've been practicing that all week. Frank and you know who I'm talking about. Two Shoes, just to tip Tommy. They've been practicing too. I want to see their video of what they've been doing. Thelma? Stop acting like a whore.
You get it from? In whose interest you exercise it? To whom you're accountable, and how can we get rid of you? And if you can't get rid of the people who govern you, you don't live in a democratic system. What power have you got?
You know about the whole Jassara and Nassara thing? I think they have to be connected.
Jassara.
And the reason being
nasty, kissing on midgets.
If
that'd be Tommy and Frank. They're short.
We had Nassara, just in the United States. Can you imagine the influx of immigration that we already have already?
Already cooked bacon.
In order for it to work, you have to have a global reset. You have to have a global financial system. If you had just the United States reset their currency and have a quantum financial system, you would have an influx of immigration like you wouldn't believe, even more so than now, because they know where the money's at. When it's all said and done, we won't even need to deport people. When the quantum financial system breaks, or it sets in, with Jassara, you have to go back to the country that you are a citizen of in order to reap the benefits of the quantum financial system. This is the brilliance of what's going on right now. We are seeing all this illegal immigration that's going on right now. We won't even have to worry about deporting them. They will go back on their own.
Yo, where you at?
So they can reap the benefits of the new quantum financial system. It's genius.
You in the shower. How long before you get over here?
I'm at the shower, Jamie.
Oh, you're over here?
Yeah, I'm walking in the back. I ain't dropped my gun through there. I got grease all on the last roof.
Oh, okay.
So I'm walking in the back.
All right. Come on.
I'm coming in the back.
All right. I'll see you in a minute.
来来来，一二三。换上，上一上，来，一二三。一二三，再来，快点，一二三。来，一二三。
给你简单的。
吃饱了，喂饱了。
I mean, for any Secret Service agent to lose a president on their watch, I know how professional you all are, how seriously you take that responsibility. How is that responsibility?
All right, there, fellas, we're going to wrap this up for the day. Appreciate y'all being over here. Thanks for stopping by. We will see y'all when we're going to see them, Johnny. Later. I get it back where? You in the front.
Saint Nick with the wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not sleigh this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Carol Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his
told nobody about that shit.
Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered.
They was over there working. Right.
In the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Carol Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Carol Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat